looking towards anyway, as they are, generally speaking, their team's highest performers pretty consistently. To be honest with you, definitely on that 9Z side of things, right, where Martinezza is really able to take over a game. And one of the big moves for him, you know, he was a bit of a talent, of course, in EU, and yeah, moved across. It's kind of something that we don't see very often. Sometimes they come over to us, but him going that way is a little rarer, but obviously believes in the project, and at the moment, they're not looking too bad. We are into the game, of course. Quick rundown for you. We've got Inferno here, picked out by 3D Max, so same there. Dust2 picked out by 9Z, same there. And then Ancient as our decider. So 3 maps that both teams, I believe, have already had a little bit of a look in already. We are going to be on the Inferno, though, of course, see how this one goes down.
I'm looking forward to this. I mean, 9Z are a side that I always just think are really exciting to watch. I think when they play at the level we know they can play at, I think they're really, really good. And on the other side as well, right, you've got 9Z who are in Europe at the moment, a very good preparation for, you know, what is actually going to be quite a busy few months, and they've got quite a few tournaments coming up which they want to try and get ready for. Obviously, we speak about kind of the quote-unquote big ones like the Americas RMR, but they've also got, you know, this tournament, they've got IM Rio around the corner. Then they've also got the Elisa Master Espo as well. So they've got basically, you know, 3 back-to-back big lands, and getting this sort of qualifier under your belt and really starting to showcase yourself as a really solid side. I mean, currently they're ranked 19th in the world. I mean, they're in a really solid position. I think a lot of people do sleep on how good 9Z actually are at the moment.
Yeah, it's true. They also come in as a team that are learning and changing their style of play sort of every week, really. So they're a very hard team, I think, to keep track of. And therefore, a really, really deadly qualifier squad. 3D Max starting off relatively well. A scary position for them in Banana. Exorcist finds the lurk out long. He's got some support here as well. Martinezza looking to take heads, and he will do just that. It looks very jittery, but the bullets, magnetic. 3 craniums taken, and he might just have saved the round here via along the bomb. Spilled in a bit of an awkward spot. Still will be picked up and planted here. Not looking great, though. You can see Maka not paying attention to short. A step must have been taken. Lucky's now got to do it all. 3 to find. Takes the danger man and denies his ace. But 2 more to get through. 1 at long, he knows. The other, got no idea.
Looking. Tap coming through. Will be tagged up just a little bit. It's a workable 1 versus 2. If he can hit a shot, but he can't. DGT on the swing. Had the support of Buddha. Nice and easy in the end. Well, I say easy. It wasn't. They were made to work for it, but 9Z put off the retake nonetheless. You know, I think it's a little bit of a handshake to start off the map too, right? You get kind of the bomb plant for 3D Max, which means a buyout for them, but then also the round 1 by 9Z, which means a buy there too. So this is kind of the perfect equalizer and a really kind of decent position where we can maybe get a good instinct into the pace and the tempo these sides are going to try and play at. AK picked up by Lucky. My assumption is that we're going to buy around this for 3D Max. But I was going to say that they're taking their time, but we will. Double AK, double Tech 9, and a Deagle is what we're working with 3D Max over for 9Z. Pretty simple buy. Triple MP9s, double M4s. Now, one thing to mention, no kits over on the side, 9Z. So just keep an eye out for that. That might be something that might bite them in the backside a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll see. You will see. They're fairly confident in their hold, I suppose. Not banking on a retake. But as you said, dangerous game to be playing. 3D Max individually outplayed. I think in terms of the idea, in terms of the approach, pretty solid actually. But unfortunately, that's the way pistol rounds can go sometimes. One player just mows you down. See whether they have a sound idea coming into this one.
All right. Slow tempo to start things off from 3D Max. Just waiting for an opportunity to come their way. Smoke will bank up in towards the plant pot position. So at the very least, it's the good smoke. This is a committal B play, 100%. But it's just about how successful it will be. There's 3 CT players here to meet them.
Max, good for the first in mid-air with the accidental jump. Buddha in and around the pillar as well. It's looking good, isn't it? Drawing them in. I think they might think there's only still 2 here, to be honest. Yeah, Max comes back out, surprises 2 more. It's maybe not even intentional, but the double MP9s I think in close proximity makes them think that it's the same guy, you know, very briefly when it's all going down. So a little bit of luck in their favor, but still a really clean hold.
Yeah, very true. 9Z looked good out the gates. And this is the big thing in that previous series, is that 3D Max looked so good out the gates. And Namiga was sort of always playing catch up. And now it's sort of about judging what things are going to look like over for this 3D Max side when, you know, the shoes on the other foot, when they're the ones playing catch up, and they're the ones trying to sort of clamber their way back into this. For now, it won't be this round. No bite. 1 Tech 9, 1 P250, and a small amount of util, but I think the best we're really looking for here is maybe a bomb plant if they're lucky.
So 9Z in the early stages looking very, very comfortable for my money. Individually fantastic. It's only been a couple of rounds, but already had 2 multi-frag moments. Might get another one here. Martinezza is quick down. Quick behind. Oh, immediately goes. A little giddy there, I suppose. Still comes away with 2, but potentially could have had them all, to be honest. Either way, he does get 3. He'll be happy with that on that there MP9. Making loads and loads of bank moving forwards here. Will he immediately buy down to an AWP? Now, it's one of those where could be a good idea. Also, a full spend if he immediately gets domed. You know, you lose all this economic advantage that he's built up. So, going to actually stick on the MP9 kill. Keep building the money, which I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's one of those things, right? You know, it's just thinking long term and thinking for the future. Build up this big stability in terms of the econ. I know that, you know, in the worst case, if they do lose this round, it's one of those things of, okay, not the end of the world. I have plenty of finances to be able to reinvest back in, and I'm not under any sort of pressure in that sense. Very chunky nade comes over towards just past half wall, and Max gets all the way down to 41. So not the sort of way he wanted to start.
Oh, Molotov. Dangerous timing, but he's covered successfully. Yeah, seems to be a really nice idea we've seen out of a couple of teams, actually. 3D Max being one of them. Amiga were pretty heavy on it. Like 4 on A right at the start of the round, rather than as a read type thing. It does seem like situating themselves on A is working out pretty well for 9Z, and then got an advantage. They can just play a normal setup.
Djoko. Bomb in his hands, yet to get a kill so far. Somebody that we do want to see get on the board. He didn't really have too bad of a performance earlier as well, Djoko. Lucky was the only one who was a little quiet, basically, in that previous matchup. But obviously, Gravity 0-4 start things off as well. They're missing him a little bit. Speaking of Djoko, he'll get us first.
Out through long. They liked it in the pistol. It didn't quite find success, but here in this round, doing it again. Looking good to get them back into proceedings. So Peak chilling out. Just throwing them in. Nice angle here from Expertise. Very cheeky indeed. Goes in for a bit too much, though. Yes, he might be the first to go down in the 4v3, but you look at Djoko, you look at the lack of utility. This does not look bad for the CT side at all. All 3 CT is going to be known about, and therefore the headshots lined up and sunk. Just Buddha moving in from short, not giving him anything. He has to make the first engagement before anyone peeks, and no one will allow him to do that. So, round goes away with 3D Max. First sort of clean, full gun round, and they do manage to find it.
It's true, and they do have only a couple of casualties. They should be fine to the bomb. I was just seeing Maka was getting out there a little late, but he was fine over here. Chunk of damage, but he was the one who was a little bit healthier, so ultimately it's all right. So 3-1 scoreline is what we're wielding here. 3D Max, a little bit of form to potentially start delivering, hopefully, some of their own. But one thing that you want to see is that consistency come through. And like we said, for 9Z, losing that sort of round, it just isn't the end of the world. They can very simply back in with a very fully fleshed buy. Martez goes AWP. We don't have that long-range capability just yet for 3D Max. They can't challenge him too much in those AWP battles. You have to get up close and personal.
Gravity. Clearing out the apartments area, nobody around. He's going to make noise to drop down, I think, kind of making it obvious. It's like, oh, okay, he's leaving apps. Of course, Exorcist is in there. Might not expect him later on in the round. He loves a good lurk on this map, it would appear. That does only leave 3 to hit B, though. They really want to send it over there. Not a massive fan of that. It means the execute has to be, like, perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel. Making noise on A. Nearly finding a kill. Trying to fake it out. And then the B players go, hopefully finding only 1 here. But they're not moving. They're not budging. Oh, Max, a little asleep. Shadow could have worked in his favor. Seemed like it sort of distracted him away slightly. Buddha can't make any more work. 3 versus 3 now for the retake.
Yeah, getting some damage there for Buddha, though, is pretty decent at the very least. He was kind of guaranteed to go down. It's always just one of those of, can he take one with him? Maybe. And the damage, I guess, is a small little silver lining. I don't know, though. It's looking like we're just going to veer away from this. DGT, low. Martineza, not fully healthy, but retaking from AWP is just never the easiest thing in the world. So they're calling this off. Last Pete, the only one with HP, and he was basically the first one out of there. He didn't even look in that direction. So that was a call made early. They were just maybe sticking around to see if they could get any sort of peaks while they were setting up the post plant. But all in all, it is going to be 3D Max getting a second on the board. And this is the game we were looking for earlier. We were hoping for a bit of a, you know, a close game and a slightly clean game out from Namiga. We just didn't get it, right? But this has all the makings of actually being a really cool one. And so far, 3D Max, you know, it took them a few rounds, but they're awake now.
Yeah, so far, so good. I think both teams can be kind of happy with how it's gone. 9Z, pistol, and conversion. Probably want to start putting a stop to 3D Max, however. Still bringing it close, right? I think there's still a few, like, 50-50 situations in there that could have gone the way of 9Z. Could have been a very different round, so we'll see. They're banking on a few more of those. Banana control coming in here without too much presence, actually. I like it from 9Z.
Oh. Donks down there. Djoko. Wow. Max goes for it. What a bold peek as well. And somehow walks away from that unscathed. Information gained as well. So, in that sense, they're not exactly going quiet about this either for 3D Max. As they're making a lot of steps towards top B. Do they clear close left? Not well enough as Maka will get his.
Martineza does get a trade back on the other side, unfortunately. Might put a stop to this. Max with a wacky play that's not necessarily needed. Bomb. Lead to the party. Steps heard down middle. Gravity knows he's going to be careful there. Molotov going to go down. Buy him the space to get back in. And Martineza is not taking the chance. So they will allow them B. But Maka might have been forgotten about. He's getting a pretty deep there. Another Molotov found, by the way. Bomb has yet to have any space to go down. It's all DGT and Maka. Who's moving? Who's taking the fight? DGT giving them control of B, but keeping the info. Bomb goes down. Maka might not get checked here. It's a little bit of a funky angle. Not very common. Not very often you can make it around here, but DGT is vigilant to all angles, to all possibilities. Just waiting for his teammates to come in. An interesting smoke there, by the way. Makes it seem like DGT doesn't exist. And it's just enough for them to work with. Gravity can't fend off against the AWP, and 9Z make it look easy.
Yeah. All right. For the most part, it was pretty stress-free. I think they just bide their time, wait for the opportunity to come, and it does. So 9Z will, once again, extend their lead just a little bit more. And the hope is maybe to see a little bit something out of them as well in terms of some consistency. If they can get 6-7 on this CT side, I think we're doing all right. Just about making sure that on the other side, you don't let things drift away and don't allow 3D Max to be in this sort of back and forth and sort of chaotic fight for momentum. That's where actually the CT side just end up losing because their economy will just break quicker. It's simply how the CT and T side economy differ. Max eats both of those grenades, starts around 17 points of HP before he's even seen a person.
The smoke getting spammed down a little bit. DGT going to get caught on the reload here. I don't think he respects how close he can be. Yep, caught out in the open. Found another one towards short. There's still 2 players ready and raring to go. Max with a 2-piece. Martinez a 2 of his own as well. And suddenly it's Maka all alone despite such a strong start. Great headshot found. So very low though, 22 HP. Surely not going to be able to get this one over the line, but getting in quick here. Maka ready for him. What? What? How's that gone in his head? He was crouched. Oh my goodness.
I think Maka didn't believe it as much as we did. Hence by his reaction at the end there, and an immediate attack pause off the back of it as well, just to really cement that one in. I mean, a way to win it is one of them, but yeah, credit for Maka stepping up in a big way. Had a very decent first best of 3, and you know, we want to see that same level out from him. Like I said, finish the first one, 1.5 rating across those 2 maps, and if he can keep up that level, this 3D Max side become very difficult to play against. Maka, that's brilliant. And he's been really pulling his weight at the moment, especially considering Gravity is still yet to frag. I mean, he was top of the scoreboard off the back of that first, 1.58, and finds off 0-6. So it's like we said, right? You know, sometimes some of these players, they can have this hour, nearly 2-hour break or whatever, and yeah, they ice out a little bit, and that kind of seems what's happened to Gravity. He's really not in the server properly just yet.
Yeah, no, you are correct. It's a bit wild, the complete juxtaposition. But maybe Maka, after that previous round in particular, can pick up the mantle. Comes at kind of the perfect moment for 3D Max as well, so we'll be keeping our eyes on how the flow of the game goes after a round like that. Get it in your little pocketbook, fellas. Round 7 could be a big one.
Okay. A quiet start. Not a lot, really, on offer, in all fairness. It's very tempered. 9Z, the slow buy. Sometimes, I mean, it's so common just to see, basically, you know, CT sides get really proactive in a way and just kind of, sort of just throw away the round a little bit and just see that they can maybe pick up a gun and make something work out of it. This one is just kind of like just waiting and biding their time to inevitably probably lose the round. I mean, barely even an upgrade. Only got 1 upgraded pistol, right? So barely any upgrades. Only 1 set of armor. It just feels like a complete throwaway, really.
Yeah, one would assume. Got a little bit going on. Impromptu Astralis stack, I suppose.
Yeah.
Might be able to work behind this smoke. The flashes are somewhat messy. Still one more somewhere. There he is. They'll take a kill, though. They will take a kill, I'm sure. Martinez are probably just going to hold on to his armor. So peek. Looking to, again, get a little giddy. There is a gun dropped as well, maybe, they could get his hands onto. So we'll see. But the round, of course, going against them.
Yeah. Any upgrade would be nice. It feels very unlikely, though. I think for Martinez, it's just about keeping all the armor. Like, what is the point of losing it, really? Wasso's been hurt, he steps. Does get a dink, but that'll be that. And Martinez, nowhere to be seen. He, like we said, is just saving all the half armor. Means he can get investment in towards whatever he wants, i.e. the AWP. Coming through, and it's not an issue. So, throw it around as expected. 3D Max tie this game up, and well, attack pause going to come through from 9Z in response. So this is now where, on the other side, it starts to become a little bit interesting. 9Z have got to find a way to plug some of these gaps. Granted, that round, we don't read too much into it, but the gun rounds that they've been losing have been just slightly a little bit uncomfortable, and you can see them, even in just terms of some of the mechanics, dwindling a tad.
Yeah, it has fallen off quite sharply. And again, both teams, I think, making good use of the timeouts. 3D Max have had some really big key turning points thanks to their timeouts, so trying to tap back into that once again. There's a long, long road here As was seen earlier, the Dust2, potentially a pick we may well have argued actually for 3D Max, you know, a map that they have been quietly playing, quietly working on, but really, really great one for 9Z at the moment. So you kind of have to get this Inferno solidly sorted, otherwise it is going to be a rough ride on that second map. But so far, I don't quite know what to make of it. Great little flash play out through middle here. Djoko kicks off proceedings, not wasting any time at all. Lots of noise, lots of info gained, but they have read this one quite well. It was a heavy B setup. Basso Peak actually trying to play confidently. A little all over the place there as they didn't quite have their timings down on the 3D Max side. That's a bomb going to be spilled, so that buys so much time. 9Z to get in, spill it again, and really cause some problems here. A bomb being dropped is everything right now.
I can't lie, Lucky has full sold Maka there. Maka's in the open, and the only thing he's going for is, in his mind, is thinking, right, I know for a fact his short's covered by Lucky. Then Lucky runs away into his apartment, so the MP9 can swing out and just kill him for free, drop the bomb, and what you'd expect is to win the round now, but Djoko has made this doable. 1 versus 2, bomb on his back, and it's a foot race towards B, and it's one in which he'll probably lose here as Max just had the drop on him, and he's got the cross. Djoko as well. No smoke to cross it. He's got a fight, and the fight doesn't go in his favor. Max sees it off. Good read. Good find. And that'll be 9Z off the back of their attack pause, finding some success. So, big round to take. I needed a round 2.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know, though, man. I think openly it looks like it's been a bit sold. There was also, I think it was Gravity on the balcony. So I think there is a little bit of just miscommunication, mistiming between all those kind of players. Lucky definitely could have at least kept somewhat of a presence. I don't know. It was the bomb, though. That's the big thing. If it's Maka going down and then he gets instantly traded, it's kind of okay. Because it was the bomb, it just obviously circulates the entire 3D Max team to that area and makes 9Z's job a lot easier.
Yeah.
So... awkward moment. That's what the game can be about sometimes. 3D Max. Trying to get a return round here. They've read the setup. Big damage from Max. DGT looking to try and capitalize. Gets caught there because he's blind. He's trapped in here. Backpack lets him down. And a 3-on-3 ensuing very, very quickly indeed. 3D Max are angry at what's happened in the previous round and their frustration being quite effectively channeled here to gain control of B.
Backing out, holding. Bomb will go down. Flash comes over, but it shouldn't make too much of a difference in how this post-spawn is set up. But when the smokes fade, they heard that. Miss jump up, Buddha. Down he falls. Martinez also tagged as well. They're calling this off. This is, unfortunately, the Inferno sort of simulator in a way. The second you lose a sight or anything of the same, just got to call it. Call for the save and kind of reset towards the next. But unfortunately, the buy is going to be, at the very least, a little bit uncomfy in a way, right? You're going to have some sort of force, maybe, which we saw 3D Max doing towards that previous round, and obviously worked pretty well. And then on the other side, you go for a save and try and full reset the economy, but it does sort of gift up not only the round, but a lead over towards 3D Max. Kind of this late in towards the half, a lot of teams potentially will be tempted to kind of just gamble with some sort of a buy here. We'll see what they go for. It's whether we're kind of buying in towards the next or buying now. Looks like the answer's going to be now. Upgraded pistol is going to be picked up. MP9 as well for Max. So I'm going to give this one a go. Yeah, lose this, and it's probably going to be losing the half 7-5. So, big one for 9Z.
Really bouncy kind of mid-half here, I will say. No team has had the opportunity to build up economy, to build up rounds, and I think obviously that's going to be detrimental for your CT side in particular. See that come to a head in this one. They feel, indeed, forced to make a move. 1-for-1. The M4 down middle, though, it's not really got anything to do with what's going on in Banana here, and ultimately 3D Max actually coming out on top of the Banana proceedings. Another kill goes their way. Don't quite yet have control of it, but feels like they have control of the round, but are going to take a lot of damage there, so feeling good here for 3D Max.
Yeah. 1-5. Numbers advantage. Let's call for a freeze. Wait for the chances to come to them. And well, for now, kind of got the right idea. I mean, if you go towards A here, Wasso's in a lot of trouble. Surely can't get, any more than one, I was going to say, but he doesn't even get the luxury of one. Gravity finds it, and that should be the round, no bother. The retake, gonna potentially have a little look in to see if they can get any freebies, but I don't think we're even giving this a go. I say that, Martinez re-peeks in after getting that information. That'll cost him his life and his gun, and Buda's obviously not going anywhere near. Famas, 20 points of HP. No chance in this one. That'll be 3D Max finding a 6th and probably the 7th to come behind it as well, because they're not going to have the money to work with. They are flat out broke, no matter how much loss bonus you get.
Yeah, it's rough. It's very, very rough here. So 3D Max have managed to just about gain control.
Terrorists win.
And that might just be enough for them, to be fair. I think, you know, T-side is where they started last time. It was a similar sort of story against Amiga. I think exactly the same, 7-5, right? And then they just took over on that CT half. So do worry a little. Do worry a little. This, of course, was a map that was played out in Pro League between these two teams. It was very, very close. So I think 3D Max will have gone away and done a lot of learning, particularly because this is now 2 series in a row where they've gone for it as their pick. I think they want Inferno as their solid playground. Maybe other maps like a Dust2, like maybe an Ancient where they have a lot of reps. Not quite doing it for them.
It's true. Oh, this buy is haphazardly as it is for 9Z. It is still one that you can't completely count out. MP9s obviously have favorites in a way of where at close range they can be super deadly, and I always love a 5-7. Always a fan of it. Whenever teams have it in these force fires, it's super scary. Lucky. Only extinguished immediately. Yuto is being shuffled from spawn over towards that ramp position. It does feel like a B finish here, but they're going to have to work for that if they want it.
Absolutely. Max is here with the 5-7 as well, looking to just keep them at bay. A little bit of a meltdown to Martinez. Djoko not stopping here as he goes flying through, runs out of ammo eventually, and steam. Lost a couple of teammates. Max follows some traces. It's all on Exorcise, who is the lurking presence. Very cool, but he's got no teammates. He's only got 30 seconds thereabouts, you know, to get the bomb down. Not a great look, and they might start to smell a rat. This guy, he likes a lurk. He likes a lurk. So it's just Max really watching for it. That's the only thing, is the fact that it's a 5-7. So I think they're going to concede the bomb plant if needs be, and then go in for this 2v1.
That's true. All picked up. You tell it, he's clearing everything. Oh, they go for it. Well, they assume it's a default plant, but doesn't matter. 5-7 will swing in, see it off. A very even showing, very back and forth, momentum swinging. Neither side look super clean, super comfortable just yet, but at the end of the half, it's 6-all. We're going to head to a little break here before we head on the way in towards the next. We'll see you soon.
always thought I could walk through fire, blow up a storm and see the light, yeah. I told my friends that I could run on water, and they said nobody can. They'll see me flying through the sky, yeah. Play hide and seek behind the clouds. I show my friends that I'm not scared of dreaming, and I'll do that again, over and over again. Suddenly, the heart and chest feels heavy. The calm is just a memory. It's failing me, and I know I could never surrender. My beating heart, it won't give up. As long as I am here, I'll never stop. They say I can't, I say, so what? Just watch me go like a supernova. My beating heart hits like a drum. You know I run through life forever, yeah. They say I can't, I say, so what? Just watch me go like a supernova. Light up the dark, I'm so
Hello, everybody. Welcome back in. Second half getting underway here on Inferno. We touted it as a close one. Kind of touted the last one as a close one, so we got to be right at least half the time, and so far, so good. 6-6, dead center for both of these teams. We shall see. This pistol could be very, very telling now.
Very true. Maka, slight tick in that molly. Just want to stick around behind it. I like this, getting a little proactive off the back of the flash. I think he wants to initially dive in. Jumps up and gets his aim. Martinez just didn't really expect something as audacious as that.
Potentially not. And it works. Completely scares them off. They are rerouting towards the A bomb site. It's all of 8 though. Exorcise with the Julies looking to take over the round. Might not even necessarily be needed because everybody else is looking pretty healthy here. Last 2 players spotted. Should be finished off momentarily. DGT does have this bomb, trying to find a head, just something, anything, to make it a serviceable round. And flanked out at the moment as well. Might not be expecting this. And he's not. Down he goes. A flawless pistol to kick off their CT campaign.
Yeah, really nice, actually. I think that's kind of the perfect way to play. And that's always how I like teams to play the pistol on the CT side, because you can actually get really proactive into them and very aggro. And I think the worst thing you can do for the most part is just to sit back and sort of hope that they lose their aim jewels or whatever as you sort of shell up on the site. So really, really well done there. Get control, get a lot of information about the map, and then just take your fight. So really well played. I think 9Z as well. That's something they're going to have to learn a little bit over here. Obviously, we saw their stints at some of the international tournaments recently, and they obviously look really good, but I always feel like the Tier 2 EU can be super cutthroat. It's very different at times to the pacing of Tier 1, and obviously, for those guys, have a lot of tournaments coming up and a lot of variety of opponents are going to be coming up against. It's really good to learn against a team like 3D Max, who I think are a perfect sort of blend of a Tier 1 and a Tier 2 team. They can really change it up quite rapidly.
Quiet in the mid-round here from 9Z. They will work their way over eventually, but I think they have lost a bit too much control. Ain't no way 5 Glocks get through a setup like this, to be honest. Molotov for good measure. And again, they might turn tail, decide on the A-bomb site instead. Ah, the smoke, yeah, that makes the decision for them, so... Not going to be their round. Might not even get a kill from it. Of course, we expect nothing here. Okay, I spoke too soon. Maka, you know what? I think he didn't have any head armor.
Ooh.
And they really
Hello.
made him pay for it. Pretty going down. It's an expensive round now.
It's still doable.
2 guns. Exorcise, though. Yeah, he's holding from a pretty clean angle, sir. Nice little move there as well to swap across to the Julies. We'll take that from Exorcise. Love it against the anti-eco.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff indeed. 8-6. Nice clean start. And now we get to see 3D Max on this CT side. What sort of tone are they going to set? I mean, obviously, with this being sort of kind of bonus and a buy that's not like a guarantee in a way, you can be a little bit different with it. Similar to the pistol round, try and get up in their face and try and utilize these MP, or the MP9 of Lucky to garner information, maybe a little bit of cannon fodder in a way. Djoko, he took a grenade and a molly behind it too. He's very low, and the spam isn't bad either.
Oh, the nade. Big onto Max. Very big indeed. So a trade-off of damage there. Molotov will force them away. The MP9, if it was well-timed, it would have been a frag. The case, unfortunately, so they are left backing away. Still 3D Max with that there banana presence, and one may argue banana control. We'll see.
It's quiet after that initial fight. 9Z call for a pause. Part of this probably to try and bait out a little bit of util. They have plenty on both sides left in the back pocket, and now they can just keep kind of replenishing smokes over towards front of B. It's a waiting game for now.
It really is. You're not joking. Yeah, full chill from 9Z. Another smoke going down. So, I mean, if we're committing, we're committing. But they're going to have to make a move. They will move in. I believe there is a flash here, well-timed, ready to go for Djoko. Okay, not quite. Oh, there it is. He looks straight into it. Somehow gets a kill. And it's all good because it was meant for Lucky to come through the smoke. And he finds the success. Djoko's pushed in behind them. What is happening? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, this is the thing. 9Z, you've not got any kills. You've not really got any presence. You obviously have no time going through a smoke there. You're just going to invite this kind of chaos, and you can't check every angle. It's all over the place. And 3D Max, they'll capitalize. You know, it's a mess, but no one dies.
Yeah, I like the way they play it as well. It's, you know, a little weird, a little funky, but it works. And now they're extending this lead and quite nicely, and obviously quite rapidly starting to approach the point of taking this map in their favor. Of course, for those who maybe missed the start, we briefly touched at the map pool. Of course, this is 3D Max's pick, that Inferno, 90, and then picked Dust2 next, which they won 13-2 on earlier. And then Ancient is the decider in case we need it. But 3D Max taking this map number 1 under their belt to start this series would be huge. Deagle. Spammin does get a body shot, but it's DDT to clean it up with that solo AK. Now, double AK as Max picked up one of his own.
Quick rotations across the B going to be needed here. Well-timed smoke from Lucky. Just about keeps them at bay. They were about to go contacting through that. They're still going to go contacting through that. And he is punished. Teammate not in position. They'll wait for the spam to end and roll on in. Plant coming through. No one near enough. 3D Max. It's a hard save here.
Yeah, it's got to be, isn't it, unfortunately? Key part of what we got. But again, you know, not the worst thing in the world. I guess the only thing is that is technically a low buy or a, you know, a hero AK buy that actually has done really, really well. They sort of relentless pressure over towards Banana eventually nets them. What is around here? I say that. I mean, they did, for a brief moment, look tempted to give this a go, but they are going to pull away knowing that timing is not to be. Well, now there's smoke as well to try and probably save Maka's life. He was in an awkward spot where crossing was actually not a guarantee. Thankfully, smoke goes down and he'll get out of there. Everyone lives. It's fine. But Max, actually, he does die. He was very low. AK, he collected. And we're all right. It's not the worst in the world. So, 9-7. Just keeping this within sort of arm's reach a little bit. Making sure that 3D Max don't pull away. Don't guarantee this map in their favor. Don't get a free win on the CT side and go in towards the next map and sort of go in with all that confidence. 90 making sure to keep it competitive, which is good. We were kind of talking about a little bit in the break. I mean, that first match for us against Amiga was very one-sided. It never really felt like too much of a conversation. This is still up in the air. Could very much go either way.
Yeah, no, that is true. That is true. I think if you can deny your opponent away from double digits, particularly on a map that they're supposed to be like proficient on, it's not hardcore punish necessarily. We'll see. could continue looking good for 3D Max. Right now, and a much slower kind of round seems to be the way that 9Z are enjoying their T side. 3D Max really resting back on their heels, not taking those early fights like they have in previous rounds. I think they know what might be up here, that it's like, hey, don't give them the early fights, and they will take a while to get moving. Okay. Lucky, though. Does get punished by a Ferrari peak there.
Yeah. What can you do? You can't even really say... You just try to say unlucky. I think those... SOP Martinez are good spacing towards sort of top mid. Now they can potentially... I mean, they've got brackets control. They don't know it yet, but they're slowly moving their way forward, and they're going to realize soon that they do. DGT going to make a bit of a move of his own. This is an A finish here. It's just about whether they can piece apart this bulk/pit position. Exorcist gets one. Met with an A, gets a second behind it as well. That's good. Flash to come out as he's somehow still alive. And the Flash doing a good job to sort of keep them at bay. The bomb will still be planted. The rotator has been caught by Lasso over quick peek. As Djoko falls, this one feels like it's done. The Exorcist is somehow still alive and still doing damage. As Maka makes a 1v3, a 1 versus 2. Not impossible on the jump, running low on ammo. Has to reload in the open. Down he falls. Alrighty. 9Z within 1. And money pretty fickle over towards 3D Max. So the expectation is this game should be, yeah, tied all square. Ooh.
Or will it?
Oh, that's a big call, isn't it? This is a bold call if they're going to go for this. But do you know what, though? I have seen, I mean, you know, we speak about a decent amount. The meta these days, isn't it? It seems to be, no matter the situation you're in, try and hero buy in some way, right? Try and have like a hero AK or hero M4, and then just see if you can pick up a gun. I mean, that's how 9Z won their first round on this T side, was hero AK, got the first kill, Max picked up the second AK, and they took B control. So 3D Max is trying to sort of match it and do their own. I like this. I always think it's like, you know, sometimes teams, they have a little bit of available cash, and they just sort of slightly throw away the round, just going for like a complete low buy, when you never know. Take a little gamble. But this isn't even just a low buy. This is a full buy. AWP in play, double M4, and double upgraded pistol. Like I said, a 5.7. It feels, in the right hands, it feels as good as a rifle.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Could be a game-changing round here if 3D Max can pull it off. 9Z might not expect it, but some early utility probably gives the game away. You know, it's pretty proficient. It's pretty overloaded, let's say. It's not just like one flash or one smoke. So I think 9Z will begin to feel ready. Heavy apartments control. Could be indeed that big moment. We'll see. 2 rifles here ready to go now. I think they're going to have to time all this quite well. They seem to have an idea of it. Potentially recognizing this round. Exorcist under the balcony. In comes Gravity through the smoke. And he finds a 2-piece. Surely not a chance now. It's Max and Martinez. They're certainly our stronger fraggers over on the 9Z side of things. But they have got a monumental task to bring this round back into contention, let alone winning it.
Tavares, Martinez all alone. Yeah, he's not giving us a go. I'm not going to have a little look in here. So this low/half/weird buy has worked well in a sense. And even Djoko will pick up an AK-47 as just a cherry on top of what is a very clean round from 3D Max. And 9Z kind of beaten by their own sort of game. They went around like this earlier, and 3D Max says, well, you can do it. We can also as well. Just, I'm just going to tick out the clock, I guess. And this last sort of 10 or so seconds, I don't think they'll get to him in time. So he should be okay to save this.
Yeah, it looks like I don't think they're necessarily super excited to go for it.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have really the money in reserves to either. I think it's the right call. And look, hey, look at the guns they're coming in with now. Double AK, M4, AWP. And it's just Gravity who has to pick up a buy. I mean, very solid economic state that 3D Max are in. I mean, they're in a prime spot now to close out this map.
Yeah, it feels that way. Big call. They made it work. And thankfully, as I said, I think it's a round that they had seen before. Yeah, they were positioned very, very well on that A-bomb site. Really prepared for a balcony hit to come in. They played right into their trap. Maybe they set it up. Certainly right into their hands. Lots of aggressive utility here. Djoko, necessarily needed. Dangerous peek. Lucky takes a tag and he goes down. It's only one of the two that they've lost so far. And Maka desperately trying to potentially net another kill. Meanwhile, Lasso Peak doing his best Exorcist impression. Could get away with it too. In towards CT. Just about wins the fight. Still not looking too bad for 3D Max, though. The kills are being kept even. They know about the man in the apartment. They do at this point, I suppose, via the second mid frag. So we'll see, but it's a weird little setup. The gap closed quite quickly. Maka not having any of it. Swasso Peak, they know he's out towards long. Low HP and easy for Maka. What a big round coming in from the star of 3D Max.
Yeah, really, really good. Oh, go and pick up that AWP as well. So, got all the positives now to work with. Brilliant stuff that we have put ourselves into. 3D Max so close now to the finish line. They more or less have to overcome sort of, I mean, one full by maybe a second after it if 9Z can get a bomb plant, some kills and the rest. But it is now 3D Max. I mean, it's their game to lose with kind of the position that they're in and how they're playing, etc., etc. 9Z, they had opportunities, they had moments, but unfortunately, they have started to dwindle. Yeah, tough spot.
Shout through mid. 9Z putting so much weight on this. Gravity does well to get one. He was incredibly blinded. It seems like they have got a good position to work from, though. Deep smoke's coming in. Molotov going to split them up. Maka looking for the damage. No way he's going through. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'm glad they called that off. That would have been absolutely wild, to be honest. But it looks like the defense has been kind of bolstered. 9Z have not really done anything with the control that they have. Exorcist has just got to guess correctly. Goes completely unchecked. How lucky is that? How incredibly lucky is that? DGT double spray down. Oh, onto the players trying to join, but Exorcist keeps his position alive. It's all DGT. Clean frag round the smoke. Gonna give him the 1v1 here. The bomb's been dropped. Maka's got the cross. Surely has to be a fight. Maka gonna time it out and will take him down. Beautifully done, beautifully found. And 3D Max, they've turned it up to 11 here. Absolutely dialed in right at the tail end of Inferno.
Yeah, really impressive stuff now. They're starting to look sort of like they can't lose in the position that they're in. 9Z going to call for a bit of a Hail Mary of, I mean, you know, attack pause and to hope things can help in their favor. But I don't know. It just feels like it's not going to be the case. Brilliant, brilliant display. And now 9Z, unfortunately, it feels like they've sort of exhausted all the opportunities they had on this T side. It's not been good enough. I mean, their first half was really, really nice and it was competitive. And we were saying how good of a game it kind of felt. But 3D Max looked like a complete different side towards the second. Not really having any sort of weaknesses showing. This is beautiful. Beautiful stuff indeed. 4-round buffer zone to close out this last round and to head in towards their opponent's map pick with, yeah, I mean, all the confidence that you want to work with. I mean, Dust2, we know it's a pretty good map for 3D Max. I mean, we were even saying earlier we were surprised they didn't pick into it. So they're going to kind of go back to back into maps they're happy with. Dust2, we know they like a lot. Inferno, played earlier, played well. It's also a strong part of their pool. So, yeah, 9Z. I think they, you know, from the get-go kind of felt like they lost the veto, but we hope they could kind of make this super competitive. Unfortunately, it's not been the case.
Donna comes in quick for 3D Max. Nobody around. 9Z. Yeah, they are sort of quietly conceding, it feels like. They damage solid. Molotov damage. Small. Okay.
Oh, wow.
What are you doing, man? What are you doing? He was fine, and then he stepped back into it. That was a little silly. So not looking great here for 9Z. They're yet to spot anyone. They've taken so much damage.
Yeah, defo. not a dream of a start, that's for sure. Oh, Maka finds Max. Lovely shot indeed. And Wasso Peak will answer back as Maka gets caught. We'll change things a little bit, but DGT also going to get clipped in towards apartments.
Lucky. Oh, dealt with. Maybe opens up a path towards B. It actually fully does, and they will take it. Djoko could get here in good time. He's going to be heard on the rotation. They will expect him. What's his play? Opts to keep his gun up. Doesn't quite know the timing. Finding the head of the first. Oh, maybe the second. Not quite. Martineza has kept it alive here. 20 HP to do it with, though. 2 to find. Not expecting 2 in Banana. Certainly not expecting Gravity so fast, I would imagine. So really looking good. Deceased, there was a bit ahead, excuse me. But all the same, Martineza, difficult spot here. Would be a hell of a thing if he can pull this off and keep 9Z in the game. Nade. Oh! Doesn't make it in. Doesn't make it in. He's just winding that clock down, not giving them a peek, not convinced at all. Clean on to the first. Exorcist is now under some pressure. Does have the kit available. Finds the spam down with the pre-fire. Should just about get over here. It's a little close. It is a little close.
Oh,
it might be too close.
No.
Oh, no way. No way. Martineza keeps it alive.
I can't believe that. He barely has any HP. And the only thing they do wrong is the fact that the nade misses. That is so unfortunate. So unfortunate. Right idea, wrong execution. A small little mistake like that will cost 3D Max that round and keep 9Z afloat. Just about. My God, that is really throwing a spanner in the works a little bit. Because money is now, of course, feeble over towards 3D Max. I mean, my assumption surely is we're not buying here. I think, you know, even in general, like maybe XCs might not even invest in at all to potentially have the AWP out for Maka in towards the next round, right? But 9Z should get double digits here. I say that, though. And M4 invested. Anyone else around that? Or is that just going to be the one pickup we go for as the sort of hero rifle that we've been talking about quite a lot that's become this new thing? No. MP9 also collected. Ready pistol for Gravity. Is what he'll have. That P250. He dropped over the MP9. So there is a little bit of an investment here.
Yeah, tiny bit. Tiny bit.
And the money's not great long term, right?
I know, yeah. It's a bit of a weird one. Exorcist has actually gone down to $200. Gravity $700. Interesting moves, interesting decisions, but they might be able to make it work. They are banking on B, and they would be correct. Djoko on the full boost angle. Flash comes in. In a way, it's that MP9. It's set up. It is set up. Oh, the contact flash there as well. Lucky finds 2. Djoko rolling in for a bit more. Now need the port. Help retrieve some weaponry. Meanwhile, Gravity to the side of the map. Good. Djoko nearly goes down to the flames, but will survive it. I would say you got to bank on a wild rotation here. They're not doing that. Maybe looking to just recover the weapons that they've dropped and save, actually. Gravity, though. Good timing.
He could catch one off guard here. He might actually get the perfect timing to wrap all the way around. It's just about whether he actually does those checks and goes back towards mid. I mean, he should know that timing-wise they could have done this.
It's unfortunate. If he went boiler, I think he's in a good spot. But because he goes second mid, he's just missed the window completely.
I mean, realistically, though, I think it's not even the worst thing in the world for Gravity to just stick around for exits and try and get, you know, he's got P250 no armor, and he doesn't really have the money to buy in towards the next. So I don't think it's even the worst thing in the world if he was to just sort of, stick around and hope to pick up any sort of a gun, even if it was like a Galil, for example.
Possible. It is very possible. Oh. Maka with the Doja play.
Oh.
Oh! Oh no, it's only going to be one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Man. If he'd split that damage, just doing like 20 here, 30 here, you know, he might have been able to find them all, but Not the case. Not the case. So, yeah, just the one taken. But they'll be all good with the save weaponry. They can just about get a buy together here. Wild kind of parameters to base their follow-up round on, but we'll see moving forwards what they're able to find.
Well, to say the least, it's been a map that felt like it was done and concluded, and on the other side, still looks like it has a little bit of legs behind it. Definitely can't count this out for now. Wasso waiting for maybe a move in towards apartment. I don't think, yeah, they're not really going to look here. They're going for a double stack over by Shaw and double stack on towards the kind of the plat position too. It's something that you don't see a lot of teams do, but we saw 3D Max do it into that previous game. One plays anti, the other plays up close for that fight, and Lucky's also sticking around for a fight as well. You know, Molotov's going to go out towards long here, but he's up close. He's ready to swing for one. Can't get a second, and actually, bit of a 1-for-1, and the trades are really beneficial towards the T side.
Yeah, it's well done from them. Very vigilant, taking their time. Last time these teams faced off, it was an OT, just the one required, but all the same, that wasn't that long ago. On LAN, could be the same again here. Maka. Aids distracted away. Dangerous position here, and they're so close to him here. It's all about the timing, finding the right moment, and he misses it. 5-7! Whoa! Comes in with 2 from behind. Oh my goodness. Djoko appeared out of nowhere. Right back into the smoke from whence he came. Just about. That was pretty wild. Could have been the round and game over.
For a moment, it did look potentially like it could have been right out of nowhere, but we are into the final round of regulation, and this is definitely very spicy indeed. What a game we're being given here as we go to the full 24 in regulation, and potentially a few more might be needed around this. And the buy is pretty good. Yes, it's an MP9, but for the most part, it's fine. It's workable. Damage, a little bit of damage. Cease. Does actually get a bit of damage dealt here. It's lucky he's going to find the first one towards Max.
Oh, no way. I think that's a bit of help from Lucky, to be fair, but all the same, that's a ridiculous spam. Oof, game could be lost on that moment, you know. Really could. 9Z have to turn it on out of nowhere. A lot of utility remaining after losing those 2 players as well. So, yeah, not looking good at all for the South American contingent.
Doubling back towards the site. Looking like a B finish here. Only 2 players towards the site itself. Are we going to go for the... Yeah, we're going to go for the new box boost. I like this a lot. Obviously, for the most part as well, you can avoid a lot of the flashes from this boost position too. However, Molotov is going to make your life pretty awkward. A smoke to come down, though, means Djoko's position actually gets stronger because they're going to know someone's there, but maybe not for the boost. They're holding for it. Djoko misses his line, and now that basically sets Lucky up for death. 3v3, spam, a lot of damage, but site taken by 9Z.
On plan? Oh, no. Not like this, fellas. Spam down plus nade.
Nice.
This time gets the kill. That could be a bigger difference maker than the previous one. Also, the Molotov in towards Dark. I mean, go for it, man. If you can gain the space, it's just tough, isn't it, to take that risk to walk out into the open. Actually, the Molly at new to just hide away. Martinez, a clean frag from him. Gravity had a flash available. He does blind them both up. Oh, finds one. Not ready for the second. And that's it, folks. We're off to the overtime. Somehow, 9Z pulled that one back. This is getting a little out of hand now. As 3D Max, the 12-8. The 12-8 they let slip away now.
Yeah, pretty bad as well. I mean, some of the fights taken, a little uncomfortable. And it goes back down to, that one thing we spoke about. Just basically one HE made the difference, didn't it? I mean, if the HE connected, we're talking about this one being done and dusted at that point. But yeah, not to be at all. Tough spot, to say the least. And now it's heading towards overtime. It's anybody's game. I don't know about you as well. You know, sometimes when teams pull off a sort of a miraculous comeback like that, and then they head in towards an overtime, you sort of internally are tempted to sort of lean in their favor.
Okay, hopefully back into the action shortly. But yeah, it could get a little wild out here, as I mentioned. Last time on this map, only a couple of weeks ago, at Pro League, these guys went to overtime. So,
Yeah.
bit of a rivalry forming, for sure. Would be cool to see them maybe face off again a little further on. We are still in the upper bracket, so no tournament life on the line at the moment. That's a later down the line silver lining, and not something that the players will want to lean on, but it is worth mentioning to keep you guys in the loop, I suppose, if you are maybe joining us for the first time after finishing work, having some dinner, you know,
Yeah.
and now you're on for some Counter-Strike.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, the brief tech pause. Over and done with, and then we can kind of head on the way. Back underway and towards overtime. And yeah, this is really, really up in the air. I'm looking forward to this, though. I mean, I've been enjoying seeing the sort of semi-resurgence out from 9Z. Late, sure, but better late than never. Really good to see. A lot of damage, though, and look at the, you know, aggression that comes through. A team kill as well. DGT kills Max.
Okay, what is going on? And then they just sort of walk in and, yeah, completely catch off. What is happening, man? This is a bit crazy. It's how overtimes should start, though, to be fair. You know, just get it all out of your system. Rush straight in. Oh, the nade. Not quite in between the two targets, really. It is a nice flank here from Exorcist, though. Quietly savvy. Swapping in between. Is there someone coming from behind? Don't rightly know. Gotta make a move, though, etc., etc. So we'll see. Exorcist fancies his chances. At the very least, he's keeping them locked in banana. And he's pretty confident, unless he's got insanely timed on, that they've not walked past him. So they have that at the very least. They are set up and ready here.
Okay. Oh, shot. Maka had that molly brewing. He was about to do something with it, and then he immediately gets swung, deleted. Lucky. Sort of going to go huge here. There's one. We'll take that. Second behind it. Maybe just damage. So XSC's job to be done here. One will be gifted to him for free. The second, just as he gets off that bomb. Timing, excellent. Round one. 3D Max. The one they were searching for. After 5 tries, they get it, but this one doesn't guarantee them the map.
Okay, let's see if it continues for them. A wild opener, as mentioned. We will see now. Timeout coming around from the 9Z boys. Hoping to keep things close. You know, keep the action coming their way. I think that is certainly one that you need a timeout after, because it just went all over the place and not really knowing what to do with it, and kills here, there, and everywhere. Mental, absolutely mental round.
All right, so back underway, and slight lead for 3D Max. They're desperately looking to try and close this out and head in towards Dust2. Map, so you know, they also really enjoy themselves. It's just a question of can they. Buda. This is Molly Faye. He's going to try and play out in front of this. I think he's probably going to be flashed in behind, trying to survive that top line control. What is that beat from Wasso? What is that? The luckiest, but great opener that he'll take. And Buda going to get one of his own as well.
Okay, maybe keeping themselves in it in the best possible way. Really keen frags. Gravity. Much quieter game. Out from him, of course. Not sure that's what he wanted that smoke to do, but he's going to look to try and use it anyway. Dink lands. had to put up some kind of a fight. Mac has been spotted and managed to find one. Onto the AK here. Gap closed. No bomb plant yet. Needs some support. Bomb spills at his feet. He will be forced into another fight, but he's bought Djoko some very important time. Bomb recovery coming in. Wasso watching this smoke. Or is he? Yep. Okay, you can see. I thought maybe there was a sneaky move on the cards. Not going to be the case. 9Z back in with a round of their own.
Yeah. All right. So, once again, just a little back and forth that is now starting to get to the point of being very interesting, where it's, again, very difficult to try and predict where this one's going to go. I mean, 3D Max, they started so well and so effectively, and then it sort of very quickly gets thrust back in their face with a nice round. Wasso's opener was a little bit fortunate, but everything else is very clean shot, and Lucky going to get 2 of his own as well to start things off. So numbers taken by 3D Max early in the round, and they just dip away. They don't stick around too much.
It is smart. It is very, very smart indeed. So, not biting off more than they can chew. Should be enough to work with, you feel like. It is all on that 9Z guessing game. They need 1 of 5v3 to get us into the overtime, to be fair. So, already proving to us that anything is indeed possible. Wasso Peak, other side of the map here, has an opportunity to do a lot of damage to the CT defense. Got to guess correctly, though. Does find one. There's the second. They just were not ready for him at all. Suddenly, it's an advantage for the T side. This trade has got to be clean, and it is. But it leaves Lucky out on an island. Thankfully, he's got a smoke down. Thankfully, he's bought some time, but they don't rightly know what's going on. Is he going to get followed? Doesn't matter. Lucky. Huge hold from him. And a really big round coming in. 3D Max. 1 more to secure another overtime. And, of course, 2 more to take it over the line.
Yeah. Nice. Nice stuff. Lucky, a really great round. 2 to start it off, and then 2 to close it right at the end there. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff indeed. So that is now, once again, where we get to look at this 3D Max side in a commanding position, and questioning, of course, can they see this off and can they close it out? Does feel like it still has that bit of legs behind it. It's very difficult to call at the moment. Yeah, what a showing. What a showing between both of these two sides. In particular, 3D Max, you just keep briefly arm's distance away from 9Z. It's about whether they can do it now on the T side.
Yes, indeed. But we'll see. Martinezzo. To go here. Oh, not ready enough. Maka takes him. Bit too quick on the move. Bit too prepared on the move. So, it'll be a dangerous round now. You don't really save in the overtimes. They will indeed look to make a move in for this retake. Might follow some traces for a clean kill. Just have so little control of this B site. I don't know, these A players as well, weary of a lurking presence. What do they want to do over here? Is that a replenish? It is indeed. So another smoke at CT makes their life even harder. There's another one for Djoko. Could go Coffins, could go CT again. So we don't say save, but I think we know that saving might be sort of their best option. It's actually to go towards the Coffins area. Just no way to get in. No way to get in at all. Really well done from 3D Max, to be honest. Oh, exits don't matter. Exits don't matter. They might look nice, but the round is over. 3D Max. Up to 15, and they do it quite quick.
One more. That's all they need. Of course, though, we know they were in a position to close out. They had 4 opportunities to do so. Weren't able. Same time, you can't completely guarantee that this is on the lock and key just yet. 15 to 13. 9Z have been trying to steal away this map, but they're constantly playing catch up, and yeah, now it's tough. All right, 15 to 13 scoreline as well. No more room for errors. The CT side has to go flawless for a couple. That's just to stay afloat and push to another OT.
3D Max just holding, ready and waiting for some kind of play to come their way, you know, some kind of move from the 9Z end, but not really an awful lot. They've opted to go on the other side of that spectrum and just play a passive one, not lose anyone early. Let's play it safe. Could work, could be their downfall. It's tough to say, but from a percentage perspective, you know, you just keep it dead even, where it's like, okay, maybe we don't give ourselves a hefty advantage to work, but they've done a lot of damage through these smokes and whatnot, so there is an opportunity to get that advantage later on in the round.
Wasso. Played up close. Nice timing on the smoke, and he heard that as well. That bounce, hence why sort of a random, it can be seen as a pop shot there from Maka, but he knows his position's given away.
Max holding, hanging out. It's a late peek from Exorcist, cost him his life. And again, relatively telegraphed. They love a bit of a lurk play. Molotov comes in. Not really going to stop them. Might slow them down slightly. Max does well for one. Need a little bit more, though. It's Butter to get it. DGT spamming away as well to keep things interesting. Butter actually gets two from his position. Gravity will get the plant, but a big clutch required. He's heard some footsteps. Doesn't quite know where they've gone. Moved into new box here, looking for an early fight. Get it? Just, I don't know, man. It's really not a good spot for him, though. Oh, headshot is tough. Headshot is tough. 9Z, I think they had that one in the bag anyway.
Yeah, it sort of felt guaranteed from the first couple of engagements. 3D Max, another round where they're on map point and they can't close it out. They just got this sort of mental block, and I think at the moment it's one of those where it's just about trying to just overcome this last hurdle that they just, at the moment, just really can't seem to. 15-14. Only two ways we go about this. Either 3D Max take the map or more overtime required.
Well, indeed. This is one of the things as well where when you're on the sort of pressure-filled position of like, oh, we've got to get this overtime, we've got to make it work. There is a little bit of subconscious as soon as you hit that all-important 15, it feels like you maybe take your foot off just a little because at least you're not going to lose the game. And that could be a hard instinct to fight, actually, when you're in that survival mode. That high adrenaline. Counter-Strikers overtimes often deliver, but we'll see. A full-on reset here, of course, into the next. And another passive setup from 9Z.
Yeah. Just going to wait for, yeah, kind of the opportunities to come to them. It's quiet. Creep under a minute. Martineza, an open angle, but Mike just trying to get active. That nade could do a decent amount, and it will. Maka, Djoko, Gravity, all taking damage. Exorcist gets tagged up by the smoke, and obviously not for the damage, but the main thing is the information gained.
Could be large. Could be very, very large indeed. We'll see. It's, again, slowed way down, paused way up. It's going through. Not much to be shown from them. Starting to confirm and confirm and confirm the B hit. Exorcist has managed to get a catch. Smoking towards coffins is not great, to be honest. There is a gap to work from. Martinez, no scope comes in. This is where they go into sort of the trap that they've set from themselves, really. Not a lot of time left either.
Yikes.
Still got this new box player to reveal, and that will be that. A little strange, I think it is safe to say, on that B hit. Not giving themselves a lot of time, and another overtime going to be required here now.
Yeah, for sure. Back and forth, but you know, the main thing is really just looking at how 3D Max cannot seem to close out these maps at the moment. You know, we had a very, very quick first series. Well, it's been anything but in this second. Looking across, I mean, Alliance, they've already taken the first map off in the Amiga. That one's done. We had I'm trying to say it was the OG versus Apogee game, which started like an hour after us or whatnot, and they're 7-3 already. we could be finishing about the same time with them this rate. These two sides seem absolutely inseparable.
Slow roll here. Martinez. Ooh. Spot a ghost. Comes off. Maybe at the perfect time to save his life, but difficult to say. Just as they've started moving up Banana, right? May well therefore get somewhat caught with his pants down on this one. We'll see. The utility and the roll is pretty slow from 3D Max, actually. He'll get a response in. Just to see what the move is now.
All right. Max finds his. As Exorcist falls, he'll step away. Not going to play too aggro over towards Brackets as he goes back for B support, but he should be sooner rather than later beckoned over. This is feeling like an A finish.
Yeah, more and more as it goes on. Again, slow move in. Does buy time for those rotations to come in. Flash a little dodgy there, but slowing them down at the very least, drawing them in as well. Good timings here from 9Z. And that is clean. It feels like 3D Max, their T side, is drying up quite swiftly.
Imagine as well, after all of this, you know, so many opportunities to close out this map if it's 9Z are the ones that take it. That would be a way to completely flip the script on this game, which felt like it was sort of, I mean, at least from the initial point, favorable over towards 3D Max. You know, mentioned before, we know they like that Dust2 a lot. I mean, currently 3D Max are on a 4-map winning streak on Dust2, and they've won 8 out of the 10 they've played in the last 3 months. So, very solid map for them. But for 9Z, it's actually statistically a little weak. So, it felt like a good shot for 3D Max, but yeah, they've probably got to do step 1 first of taking their own map pick. And yeah, at the moment, that is a real struggle. They're not finding an easy way of overcoming at the moment, and now finding themselves, for I think the first time in a long time, not in the lead.
Oh, Maka has somehow crept in behind them, just completely catching that mid push off guard. Could be a big deal here. Again, there's still 2 players ready to go on the site itself, but Exorcist comes out, good timing, and an easy double spray down. So that's overtime, folks. Previous round, they get red all over. This round, they get mega lucky with a 9Z move going completely against them. And that's 3D Max back on the board.
It's true. Very true. Max will just fall away with this AK in tow. Normally, you don't really save that much in towards overtime. But when it's an AK-47, it's something you can't invest into. You do, of course, it's not the worst thing in the world, to, yeah, keep it alive. So, where we're at, big statements that, of course, are being made from 3D Max to say, you know, while we've been struggling to close this out, sure, still far from out of this game. Go again, 16-all. Back and forth, back and forth. Incredibly difficult position at the moment where neither side look really kind of in that super comfortable spot where, you know, if it feels like they had that chance of kind of closing this out. This is a really difficult one to call.
All right, this could be a big deciding round. It feels like both teams been sort of struggling on their key halves. Nades slow Max down. He still commits in for the peak. Just an easy find for Lucky, honestly. So 9Z past couple rounds have been going for something aggressive. And it hasn't worked in either of them. So, you know, take what you want from that. Pretty weak stuff, though.
So, 1 minute 15. Replenish smoke, and Molotov will come down. I mean, Martinez goes into it. An interesting decision as he takes 2 ticks. Which does a fair decent amount. Buddha for a double. Oh, gotta go huge. Misses the first, looks for the second, and misses that too. Ecstasy's punishes. That's now the sight and the numbers advantage.
Digits tapped in. Oh, DGT caught reloading. Lucky to remain alive, and it could make a difference. Wasso Peaks won his initial frag on the backside. Ecstasy knows he's got to make a move, and he will find success, but Wasso Peak definitely not over just yet. The nade leaves Ecstasy on 2, but it's the AWP bullet that finds him. 3D Max to take the lead, similar to our first bout of overtime. See whether they can clean things up this time around.
That is the big question, isn't it? But yeah, this is really about, can we get over this mental block, right? I mean, that is just being the main thing for us. I mean, this side just cannot find a way to see things over the line. Still, though, plenty of opportunities to do so still. With an advantage. And that CT side, as you mentioned, that's maybe where they'll, you'd hope anyway, do a bit of their best work, but it was just, yeah, that early find as well towards Buda, that's really going to help things out.
Djoko up top.
Ooh.
It's a heavy setup. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, DGT catches Maka. This becomes even more important here. This two-man setup, though, they're going to drop back. Lucky is the last line of defense. Will he get checked? Will he get checked? I don't think so. He goes in for one. Oh, just millimeters to get that second. DGT suddenly alone, despite his kill on the other side of the map to just bring them into contention. He will find Lucky. It costs him a lot. Gravity on high knows what's up. DGT really has to be diligent with these angle checks. I don't think he's going to be. Yep, walks over it. Gravity finds him easily.
Okay. Once again, they get towards that map point. Once again, we ask of, can they see it over the line? They failed on multiple different occasions. 12-8 they were up. Previous overtime, they had that lead and still were unable to see it in their favor. It's not quite at the point of a matter of kind of when they do it, not if, but you feel like surely with the amount of opportunity to get, one of them just got to go their way, surely.
You would think so. Oh, my nades do some decent damage here. No real response from 9Z. Just that bit of chip damage coming in. However, banana control again from 3D Max taken. Completely different from 9Z when they were on their CT side. Much safer. They did pull off some aggression towards the very end to try and, you know, sort of desperately get around. Ooh. Okay, DGT. That's one way of doing it, I suppose.
Wasso. Nah, that's DGT. He's going to get it. Both of the right idea. They'll train. Gravity going to get caught. Now 3 remaining for 3D Max to try and close out this map. They've been struggling with it. Lucky's Molotov will push him away, and Ecstasy's might have the flank here. He might after the good timing. Eventually get a few. 1-4-1. Spots one. Noses one in towards short as well. Oh, no. Gets the second as well. That's okay.
Yeah, I suppose. We've got Djoko requiring 2 here. Gonna get the first. Drops that bomb. Not a lot of time. So Pika guessing game now begins. Djoko happy to let him have the bomb and just rebolster his A position. If he's quick, he could, like, run off B, but if he stays walking, which he probably will, it is surely an A hit. Oh, but Djoko has read this.
You can hear it as well.
Read this. Here's him running off. Trying to get the good timing, and will indeed take him down. Well played from Djoko. Very well played, considering all possibilities to net the double OT victory in favor of 3D Max. Never easy on Inferno, it would seem, against 9Z for them, but so far, so good in terms of the win column.
I think ultimately we could probably just say, you know, got there in the end, right?
I don't want to say one way or the other. I think 3D Max should still be the favorite here, just because, like I say, they have a lot more to lean on. 9Z are still figuring out, it's like, okay, did that round work against Falcons because it was good, or because they were sort of already beating us and just took their eye off the ball slightly? It's hard to know, hard to read into until you pull it out again in another official. Alliance, probably a team that 9Z can beat on most maps, most days, right? Just because that's still a squad that's getting comfortable. We're on to Dust2, though. No more questions. We're going to find out now.
I'm very interested. Why, you know, what is the reasoning behind this pick, especially just specifically against 3D Max? Why have we gone for this? Let's see. First fight, of course, is very good for Maka. Swinging around, P250, crisp headshot. When it was Gandalf, Max as well starts to make a bit of presence known. So, report level.
Just about. We're able to get control of this site now. Oh, it's a little dangerous. They're going to give them the plant here on the 9Z side of things, completely pulling away, in fact. Going to go altogether towards short. Not fancying a CT move, and 3D Max, they might know what's up. They might have heard the footsteps and read into this. Arteneza to lead. It's actually Buddha that finds the first kill before his teammate falls. They are drawn in. Meanwhile, they did actually commit one through CT, a little late, potentially. Planted for short, though. DGT's got a lot of work to do. First peek comes in, sees that he's not on it. No need to overcommit. He will go down, but the 10-second timer has gone. Very well played here. Essentially just as 2 1v1s. That's usually not how we'd advise to do it, but with the timer being in their favor, they win the round. Yes, they lose everyone, but they take that pistol.
Yeah, exactly that. Good start for 3D Max. But we'll see. I mean, there was a little bit of a kind of a conversation to be had there. It was close for at least a brief moment. Of course, the round taken at that. We are seeing the force buy come through. Now, you know my thoughts on the CT force buy. It's actually the first one we've had today as well. So let's get this plans out. This is not really great. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, it's not like the best force buy going either, right? You got one scout, one MP9, and a few upgraded pistols around it. And that's more or less it. Early control taken out towards long for the CT side, and 3 Max are dipping a little bit further back. They've also got this sort of lower tons area, but it's a very early call to pause and basically just kind of reactionary, seeing what is the idea for 9Z here. If they're going for a force buy, what are they trying to do with it?
That's it. That's it. That is the money question. Not much at the moment. There's not really an opportunity to show themselves off. On the shoulder, will manage to get that smoke down. So, pretty slow round here. 3D Max scared of what's on the other side of, well, either bomb site, really. Late B execute coming in. It's always a risky one, man. Ecstasy's just about makes it work for 2. That looked dangerous for a second, though. They'll get control of the site. That's the big thing here with the B bomb site, of course.
All right, bomb down. And statistically, back in Go, B site Dust2 was the hardest site to retake. No other site in the map was even close. It was so difficult. And I don't really think that's changed all too much, unfortunately, towards CS2. A couple of pop shots through. Molotov expertly timed over towards upper tons. That's it. I think basically it's about contain here for 9Z. See if they get some kills on the back of it. Running through the flames. It's not going to go well. And there's their exit path right there. Wasso, Deagle, spamming, does get his. Will fall ultimately with relative ease. Now, this does open a question to you, though, however, Scriv. You know, you're going to help me with my spreadsheet that I'm doing, as you have been, right? Does this count as a loss for South America or a loss in the EU column?
Oh, no.
Do you know what I mean? Now we're getting into the real semantics of it. Because for me, it's an EU tournament, but it's a South American team who lost. Now we're really starting to debate a bit.
Yeah. I'd probably put it in EU because I think it takes place in EU.
Sure.
Takes place against an EU team. And it, you know, is ultimately for like an EU tournament that's happening right now and gonna end up happening.
Yes, yeah.
You know? So I think there's a little bit more there for EU. It would be a bit harsh to South America. Because they're, you know, on vacation. I think a lot of what it is like what the stats will track as well as it's like, okay, if force buys are more effective in South America, it's like the South American teams are bad at anti-force buys, whereas we're sort of looking at yes, are they effective, but also how do teams deal with them in EU? So
It's true.
I'm going EU, mate. There you go. I made my case.
All right, I respect it. I'm gonna agree with you there. So that means, so just for context, for those who maybe don't join in with myself and Scribs casting, regularly. Basically, I have a real agenda against force buying on the CT side when you lose the pistol round. I think statistically it never makes sense. And from my like sort of quote unquote eye test, I always thought like teams will do it and then they'll lose. And I felt like it was a bit of a trend I was tracking there. So rather than kind of just saying that with like no data, I thought I'd, this year make a bit of a kind of a, quote unquote spreadsheet about it and just compare the numbers and go throughout the year and just actually get some actual data behind it, just from the games that we commentate. So just for EU specifically, we're putting this in the EU column. That means so far, for the entirety of 2024, from the games that myself and Scribble casted, primarily they are EU games, but that would mean that this year there's been 16 successful force buys, 55 now failed. So percentage-wise, it doesn't really look all too great, right? Because now, of course, they're coming towards this round, and it's kind of a bit of a throwaway in a way. So that's always why I've been pretty anti-force buy. I'd much rather a team have a full buy here and maybe have to just sacrifice a couple of nades, like a molly or a smoke in some sense, or maybe like a HE, like a molly and like a HE, right? But they'd still have a full buy, or maybe one person picks up a FAMAS to get the full belt of util, something like that, rather than what we're seeing now, which is basically ultimately 3D Max should go 3-0 up unless they kind of fully throw this one away.
Yep. Always got to be careful. Eagles as well on Dust2. Right, a lot of range angles, of course, that Eagles can be effective in. And you can see 3D Max, they sort of know that. They've heard the Eags ringing off, but they're still a bit frightened. So, taking their time. Oh, hello.
He blocked that. That's nice.
He did. He did. Major has started a revolution of learning smokes. It is going to make a difference here. I think they will know before crossing that it has indeed been blocked. Should, with it being Dust2, have some smokes remaining as well, as they do. A couple here, if they still want to be going that way. However, most of the attack is actually coming in from short. So as they distract and draw attention, the long players don't necessarily need cross to be covered off. Max does get one with his deagle, but that is all we find.
That's right. 3-0, as expected, as we would have hoped against that sort of low buy round. And as I'll always say, why I'm not a huge fan of it, because they just start this map off now 3-0 down. So it's going to make it a little bit more difficult. This is a map which is still statistically CT sided. It is actually one of the more even ones, and in some cases you can make arguments about it being having T-side preferences depending on the team and the style of play. Well, I mean, the big thing for us, we've spoken about it, we're kind of beating it a little bit to death now, but it's just how risky this pick does feel, and maybe the opportunities it gives over to a 3D Max, a quick around Buddha. First fight, not great. Second, better. The third behind it will get traded out by the Mac 10, but a 1-for-1 as Max keeps the numbers in favor of 9-0.
Oh! Okay, Exorcise, he will pull them back, though. Bomb's gone down. 2-on-2 is still not nice, right? The numbers are indeed even, but this B bomb site every time. Real problem point at the moment for 9Z. Gravity with the aggressive post-plant hold here. Off angle. Oh! And it doesn't work. Quasso Pete goes running round at the worst time just as Gravity starts to move. So it's all going to be lucky. Below the window. Catches one. Knows the other is coming out from tunnel. Just can't guess the correct angle. And 9Z, they will get it. Not sure I'm a big fan, you know. I think with the 2v2, how far away they were. Safe angles. Probably the move from 3D Max. But that's the benefit of hindsight, isn't it? The benefit of X-Ray.
Yeah, exactly. Good first round to be taken for 9Z. One that we can absolutely work with a little bit here. It's going to give us, you know, some control on the cards, and at the same time as well, just a little bit of a foothold in towards this game. Just a little update though. I was, I spoke to Trav a little bit before we started this map. Apparently 9Z are out in Spain. You know, we kind of just assume most teams go towards Serbia, but yeah, Spain. I'm assuming maybe Movistar might have.
Hey, it would make sense.
Obviously, can speak the language too, so I guess it makes life a little easier, and probably a little warmer this time of year as well. So
true.
It's starting to get cold now. Kind of this week.
I think you're sort of Latinx kind of fellas. They probably don't want to go across to to Serbia. You
we
know?
were there obviously in January, start of this year for the HTV Awards, and I can promise you it's chilly out there. It's brisk to say the least.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, this is a warm one, by the way." So
Yeah,
you know,
everything was frozen.
God knows what it's like when it's cold.
Yeah, I was wearing a North Face and still freezing. That's meant for mountains. So, yeah, exactly. If that was a good day and it was like, well, I think most days it was like, we start the day when we go out for a coffee, but like -2, like, oh, this is a warm winter. You're like, warm, mate. All right, sound. Like,
Yeah.
damn.
So that's fair. Checks out. Does indeed check out.
Also, ping's probably pretty good between these two as well. Obviously, so close to each other.
Yeah. Good argument. Very good.
Not that really
argument
ping to Serbia would be that much worse, but
No, it does make a difference. So in this game, so we're hearing a lot of people complaining about it, or well, at the very least, mentioning it for sure. Very, very trying time for CS2 online gameplay at the very least.
yeah.
And for 3D Max here, as we bring it back into the game. DGT has opened up with a double. Nice and easy for him. Bit of variety in his positions as well. Only 10 seconds, so 3D Max going to give it up.
Yeah, that'll be that, really. They completely just called it away, and
Counter-terrorists win.
oh, well. Second on the board in quick succession, and this is where for 3D Max, strong start, sure, but the second the guns have come out, there's only been one team in it since the guns have come to play for both sides, and honestly, both of these rounds have actually looked very clean from the 9Z side. So 3D Max, I wouldn't even mind seeing one of their very early attack pauses that have actually netted them a lot of success post them. I think maybe if they were to lose this round, they might even go for one of those heading in towards the next gun round.
Quiet start again from 3D Max. Ooh, heavy long presence or anything along those lines. They were banking on a short play. It did happen. They just obviously can't find the head fast enough. Meanwhile, mid might be the next line. Oh, mid to be fake. It could be A. This is a Dust2 classic. Absolute classic. And these days you only need the one smoke to sell it as well. So that's kind of cool. They're going to look to try and catch off some players unawares. First comes easy. Second a little harder. They just have to be careful not to show their heads to these rotating players. It'll be exactly that. Bomb goes down. Might even force a save out, it looks like.
Yeah. It might actually. I don't hate this either. I think for 9Z, it's probably in their mind as well, especially knowing that at least money is a little bit feeble towards 3D Max. You don't want to actually just gift them the guns as well. Keep your economy in check. Keep things stable. And all chilling. So, in the same vein that 3D Max went for an early save in that previous round, 9Z going to do the same thing here. But they're all playing long term. They're all looking towards the future at the moment. And they know that they don't want to get reset. That's probably the worst thing that can happen to you at the moment. Wasso. Get cleared. Yes, is the answer. And that actually is a gun for Lucky to go and pick up if he wants.
Terrorists win.
Can he get over there in time? Yes. Okay, cool. So guns are picked up. That's good. And now, basically, no real investment needed in towards the next. It's a real win.
Okay, let's see. This is a pretty trying time, though, I think, for 9Z in general. They are not really delivering on maybe the promise that we were expecting after the Alliance performance earlier. Still early on, but 3D Max... Loads left in the locker, it feels like, for me. You know what I mean? We see so many teams on this map. Long pressure, long pressure. It's something that's really missing from the 3D Max game at the moment. Maybe they feel like they don't have to do it. Maybe they feel like they want to save it for a rainy day. But what they are doing is indeed working a bit more lower, mid-focused. And it has been pretty effective thus far.
Martinez up. Got the right idea. He's checking both the angle. Oh, he spotted the head. But no, he hasn't fully. I do wonder whether the radar would have showed that on the minimap, but I'm going to assume that no, because there was no reaction from him, and I'm assuming no call from the rest of the side, and we could see it as he jumped up briefly, but I'm assuming, yeah, it wasn't picked up there on the minimap, so that's unfortunate, but it's a really nice angle to use, and a really nice shot to Wasso Peak there.
Buddha left pretty low from some spammage through middle here, so it's looking very, very good once again from 3D Max, and it looks like we are saving once again as well. Slowly walking in, and they don't know what's up. It is indeed a save. So 3D Max, quick roll up to 5, and they have brought a lot of variance into the mid play and just really keeping them confused. Very, very solid from 3D Max once again. And this is, again, why I said, potentially Dust2 pick. Could have been cool. Yeah. But they've got it as a really, really safe mid-ground map by the looks of things, especially if this keeps up.
Alrighty. Molotov. Down, Buddha. Backside. Really difficult angle to try and clear. XSC is also very low. I think he'll be thinking twice about the peak, but no, he's actually going to go for it himself. I mean, obviously, these hunts don't really mean a lot to 3D Max, but they're very successful. You know, it really, I think, shows the confidence in a way. XSC was so low, he's peaking one of the hardest angles to try and clear, and still goes for it, and still finds success. So, yeah, really solid stuff. Really good hunt. 9Z. Not broken financially, maybe a little bit mentally. Tough old predicament for them now. They're going to call for a tactical timeout to try and converse about sort of what's next, right? Because there is some funds to work with, not enough for a full-fledged buy across the board, unless it requires, you know, somebody to pick up the likes of an MP9 or maybe like a double FAMAS to kind of come through here. I would expect at the very least one hero rifle, bare minimum.
Yeah, it looks that way. Looks that way. Just sort of quietly waiting to see if we get any more. Not going to be the case, so that's fair enough. It would have been a harder spend, but I don't know, potentially like an Eagle drop across for Huaso Peak, something like that, just to give him a tiny bit of armament to work with. Either way, the heavy stack towards long here from both sides. It is a mess. It is a big mess. 2 versus 2 USP. Does make itself known. It's Martineza, of course, on that Deagle that has done most of the work here. Pace pickup from 3D Max. They are going to smoke off the cross, go for a conventional A plant. It looks to be the only option for 90, in fact, is short. So it'll be difficult here. 3D Max, I think they'll be ready for a short presence, actually. Ooh, they've gone all the way around towards the long. Maybe this is a bit more of a catch-off. Maka stands confidently, though. And the double spray down certainly been doing his practice in that long break they had in between games. He'll pay off.
Yeah. All right. 6-2. Really, really clean start from 3D Max. I mean, in a way, even if things were to end at 6 and it'd be a 6.5, it's not bad for the T side on a map that is generally seen as maybe ever so slightly, but CT sided all the same. Really is quite a lot to like at the moment for them. Boost up. Maka. Oh, he gets the tag as well. Nice work.
We'll take it. Again, classic Dust2. Takes a bit more effort to find those tags and frags down in the alley, but we will indeed take it. Back to their winning ways, 3D Max, though, or at least their trusted ways of playing slower, playing around middle and short and potentially B, all these kinds of threats. 9Z looked good against the, you know, long push, so maybe again it's going to send 3D Max into turtle mode, as it were.
Sure, Martineza holding out towards long. He's going to throw back over towards CT. And a smoke to come down off the back of that flash, and the molly behind it. The molly gets extinguished immediately there. It's just feeling like an A finish. 3 out towards long, 2 towards short. It's just about whether they can overcome Martineza here.
Ooh. Nice find, Martineza. Looking for a little bit more. Towards short. He's left his teammate out on an island there. Maybe back in for the assistance. Not ready for Maka at all. He swapped onto the AK here, by the way. Double trouble coming through from Maka. Looking for a bit more. He's going to get it as well. Oh, these are great moments in from the AWPers. It looks like Maka has done an awful lot to pull them in. He's back on the AWP. This guy what is it? Bling Pro? Modern Warfare 2. He's running the double primaries, man. Absolute fire. It looks like they're conceding the round. That kill pulls them back in briefly, but it was all a ruse. Down to just DGT. Slightly overconfident face there from Gravity. I think the round would have been bagged if he didn't give it, but DGT not feeling it. Going to save 3D Max, move up to 7.
DGT, he will be given that luxury, but, you know, made it a little expensive, but the 3D Max side don't care anymore. They're in such a strong and commanding position. Wow, wow. What a performance we're seeing out from them. And it kind of reaffirms a lot of the conversation that we were having about the question marks, really. Why have they picked into this? What's the reason sort of behind this? And still, in our minds, debating that a little bit. I'm still yet to see why we've gone for this is the main thing.
Yeah, I think getting frustrated now, aren't they, with just the fact that nothing seems to be working for them again. A very, very different style of Dust2, I think, than they are used to. And certainly than what we've seen. 3D Max playing a really tuned level of Dust2, actually. I just think a lot of mid-level teams are not yet tapped into. They're playing a lot faster, playing in sort of the first minute. 3D Max rolling it back. This is a very CSGO-like Dust2 approach. Holds up, not quite perfect. Martinez loses his head on the peak. So, changing it up. 3D Max will once again hit long. This time, not as much presence.
Good stop as well, Buda. That scout. In the right hands, this is difficult weapons trying to overcome. The rifle up close to DGT going to get caught, though. That's unfortunate. Down goes the scout. The big boy scoped weapon of the AWP of Maka finds him, and yeah, Max is out of there. He's tagged already. Wasso will stick around. Half armor and a deagle. Don't really have a lot to lose. He's applying towards an extra regardless. He might catch a gap here. Maka spotted him. And that'll be that. Max, nowhere to be seen. That's an 8th for 3D Max. 9Z, fellas, I would not mind seeing a pause. I can't lie.
Yeah, it definitely feels like they need it at this point, to be honest. It really is getting out of hand, and I think 3D Max are about to give you a taste of your own medicine. Maybe, just maybe this map not as clean and confident as they thought. Bit of money made at the end from Max, but immediately dealt with. I think 8 rounds on ET side is already pretty good. Feels like Dust2 is yet to really find a side. Maybe a little bit more T-sided, just because, you know, the nature of the map, the whole game as well feels pretty T-sided at the moment. But not this T-sided, you would argue. 9Z, still no timeout.
It's kind of weird for me. I feel like 9Z, it's very rapidly and obviously falling apart, but they're still sort of just allowing it to happen in a sense by not trying to ice out 3D Max at all. They're allowing them to spiral in terms of the momentum, and that is a prime example of it. Maka gets one for free, gets a tag on towards a second, HSC's cleans it up. I mean, you can just see it's so individually based here for 9Z. It's all off the back of, can somebody get a kill or a multi-frag? But as a team, they're all over the shop. They're getting pieced apart so simply.
Yeah, really not nice to see, honestly. After such a competitive first map, 9Z have disappeared. Nade is nice. Would have maybe brought a bit of something back in here, but they have comfortably lost B now with that smoke. 3D Max just need to not really mess this one up, and it should be theirs. Still, even number situation, always possible. It's that AWP that's the big one to get through. XC spotted. Taking too much of a chance as he plays it safe. Smoke coming in towards tunnel as well. Lasso's still going to find the kill through it. So this might be back on. That door smoke, I'm not sure if it's been replenished or it's about to go down. Either way, the flashes are pretty damn nice. Maka, he knows there's someone inside. He takes the no-scope. The bomb not really planted for him. The AWP, awkward to use in the 2v1. Can't find it. Got to get that player off the bomb, sir. And it's not going to happen. Loses his head. 9Z. Difficult, but they get a key one.
Yeah, I mean, you'll take it, I think is the main thing. For 90, is 3, or let's even give them the benefit of that and say, is 4 enough? Maybe, but I think a lot of it depends on that first pistol round, and then, you know, the force and that around it. I mean, realistically, they've got to see this half off with a bit of confidence, take that pistol, take the force behind it, and then hope it gives them the stability. I think 8-4 has the legs behind it. 9-3 feels very, very unlikely. It's not impossible, but improbable, as we like to say. The Sweden Mac side, plenty of money to work with, even left an AK and spawn just in case. Mac is actually going to drop the AWP for that AK, in fact, as he's going to wield it. He's a really good map as well, isn't he? 16-3 at the moment, so a fantastic showing out from him. CT smoke, gravity will play behind the flames. There's a slight gap, it spreads though, and he will actually take a fair chunk of damage.
GGT to the smoke, looking to help his teammate, but it's not needed. Max gets it, big old damage through that tunnel smoke, so looking good here. Exorcise, of course, on the work. Catches one. Bomb. Ooh, could make it in behind. This is a little weird. Asu Peak not going to be spotted, but it seems like they are acutely aware of him. Now spotted, I think, but the bomb's still not crossed towards long. God, this is strange. 40 seconds to do so. They've got to make a move. That bomb carrier is incredibly vulnerable. On half HP as well. Asu Peak going to look away, but looks back. Maybe spotted the tip of a shadow or something, not quite sure. Lucky with a catch on one. What is that really worth? 25 seconds here. Assume not going to happen. Exorcise's got to find this kill yesterday. Get the bomb. Get the hell out of there. He's got another player to find. I don't even know. It's a long run. I don't think he'd be able to make it, to be honest. Yeah, there's no way, surely.
Yeah,
obviously not with the resistance at Car, but yeah, he's not making that. He's not making that. So round over with the bomb position. 8-4 at the turn. Pretty good from 3D Max. At least something in there from 9Z. Let's see how things go at the swap.
Rolling on a feeling, knowing I must go on. If I don't do it now, I will never have it. Dreaming is deceiving, falling to slumber. If I don't do it now, someone else will grab it. If I don't, yeah. I wanted it so long. It's taking me some time. I tell myself don't stop. Like waves are breaking, I found a way, I made it. If only I don't stop. Sharper than an arrow, aiming at its target. If I'm losing grip, then I can always get up one more time. But when I'm at the summit, I won't take it for granted. Easy come, easy go, I won't let me slip out of this high. I won't know. I wanted it so long. It's taking me some time. I tell myself don't stop. Like waves are breaking, I found a way, I made it. If only I don't stop.
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. 8-4. Could have been really quite one-sided from 3D Max. It ends up being just a bit one-sided. This pistol now carries everything. 9Z. They disappeared. They disappeared for a long time in that first half. So it's going to be a rough old ride if they cannot get themselves started well here.
All right. This is a pistol that is a must-win for 9Z. That's a good start. Wasso, nice find. That's what they need. It needs to be the first of many, though. If 3D Max found this pistol, it does feel like it potentially could be the beginning of the end. It's a good angle over towards Carr as well. He's got the kind of coverage at the body, but can dip and dive in here. As long as he gets some support, he'd be okay. But Wasso, another nice find.
Looking good. The approach in from short is a little late as well. Djoko trying to hold this line. He's so very blind, but good for one. Maybe one more as well. Keeping them at bay, to say the least. Gravity out in the open can't really find the same sort of success. Eventually, Djoko gets pushed in. Deceased alone. Quick flick. Gonna need a couple more of those, I think, to make this doable. He's trying to move up on the old new boxers. Gets caught. Bit of a jump scare. They take their time. They will take him down. 9Z, an opportunity to close the gap.
Yeah. All right. Super, super needed. Potentially, we can start to see on the other side a bit of form on this T side of Dust2. In the right hand, it's very, very workable and does start to kind of blossom some really nice plays out from sides. But 3D Max look very, very clean on it, but still want to see what they're like in towards their first round. They are going to force buy. One of the few times when maybe I can sort of understand it because they have rounds in arrears. So even if they were to lose this, they're going to have a gun round before 9Z can tie this up. DGT does catch Smack at the start things off, and a 1-for-1 keeps numbers in favor of 9Z.
Just about. Djoko, though, has got his hands onto a gun. Can't make it sing. And that should be the round taken. Indeed it is. Everybody else just walks into the crosshairs. So, 9Z get it over the line. Another force buy failed. And thus, it should be 8-7. 3D Max. Not a lot of opportunities then for them to hold on to their lead.
It's true. Definitely making this potentially a little harder. And it needs to be, and obviously we saw them struggle, right? In that OT thriller of closing out maps, and this one felt like the start of where they could, but right, up and away. DGT for the first. Should be a pretty simple clean up, and Max and DGT on a field day in towards mid. Wasso died? How did Wasso die? Killed himself. He dropped. No, he didn't drop out. How did he die? I didn't even see him throw.
Sure.
I didn't see him throwing a util, so I'm not really too sure how he's actually really died there. But sure, all right. Somehow he fell. I'm trying to see what it said. Maybe it was like he ran into a bit of util of his own. And HTV,
Yeah, like a molly or something.
Yeah.
Just briefly. Happens to the best of us. Djoko gonna get.
HTV's up there, then I can tell you.
We'll check back in. Keep your eye on it.
Yeah.
Big tag early on here. Unfortunate for 3D Max. Not the best way to start off their defensive campaign, as it were, now that the real rifles are in play. Djoko, that B player as well. It's always difficult. Yeah, they know that he's likely to be tagged. They sent 2 nades down range. He avoids them. So, at the start, 9Z wanted to cheekily snatch away. Molotov as well, though, just keeps, Djoko out of any good positions for quite a while.
Alrighty. Maka. Bit of a tap down towards Max. Oh, hang on. Hang on a moment. This is now surely dead in the water. Flawless as well for 3D Max. What a way for them to take it as well. Nice work. Failed force buy. Put a bit of pressure on. But the full buy that comes through, very clean. Very comfortable. And that's exactly what you want to be seeing. So, a 2-round buffer. There will be some level of an investment to come through for 9Z, but I wouldn't exactly say it's one that doesn't have any sort of pressures around this. You lose this round, and we are discussing what We'll be 3D Max getting 10, probably 11 at that point, and then we're basically looking at one gun round being the difference between 9Z being competitive and actually losing the map and the series.
Ooh. Difficult find there. I think Ecstasy a little lucky to come away with that frag. He's done a lot of damage to Quasso Peak, though. So it's a little tentative at the moment. 9Z trying to lock themselves in here and hopefully find this all-important round, as you mentioned, but it never really is that easy. And again, a difference in style. They like to play a bit faster. It feels like they've now slowed it down, and 3D Max are working around that. Lots and lots of presence around mid and short. Pretty sure that it's going to be long, so they're very ready here.
So, he knows there's one in towards CT and could very easily have spammed that smoke, but he's utilizing his position to move up. Obviously, drops the Molotov now, so no, he's here. Lovely touchdown nade, though, onto Wasso. And a Molotov on towards Ramp will force the engagement here for lucky one in which he converts. The second behind it is a possibility. Molly will tickle the toes, and this is a really nice little shutdown as well. Martineza with it all to do, but doesn't seem like it's going to be too big of a difference here. He's just going to try and save this orb if he can, and it looks like 3D Max is probably going to give him that luxury.
Yeah, I think so. He's so far away. And again, they're in a position where they don't really want to sacrifice too many guns, too much money. And it's something that you know about, right? You can say, okay, there's going to be an AWP in the next. We know that at the very least. No bomb plant, no real kills. Like, I doubt there'll be much around it, to be honest. So, 3D Max, guns in play. Suddenly they're back. Suddenly they're back. So 9Z still got to figure out this whole rifle shenanigans going on.
Yeah. Well, where to buy. I guess in these sort of throwaway rounds, there's also maybe an opportunity for 9Z to sort of have that tack pause without calling a tack pause type conversation. See what we can do. At the very least, it's good timing. I'm seeing HLTV's updating, and all it says is that Wasso committed suicide. So we don't even know how. All we know is that he somehow died. I'm assuming it must be into his own bit of util, but it did look like he was just fighting into his top mid. So he might have run into his own Molotov or something. But this round, a bomb plant would be lovely. Doesn't feel very likely. Armor on DGT and Martineza. AWP is basically all they've got to work with. This nade could do a bit of damage as well, and not as much as I thought.
Nade breaks the silence, but not a lot of noise here. 9Z, I think they want to play a faster game. Kind of being forced to play slower. Whether that is because they're afraid of 3D Max and their protocols, whether that is because it just feels like a better way to approach the T side, but it's kind of against their DNA somewhat. Djoko reveals his head, he spots a lot. Buda flies in for that opening frag. Will there be any support here? The answer is no, but he keeps killing. He keeps on killing. The bomb should be able to cross. Look, he's been left incredibly low. I don't think he really wants to give his life away just yet. Rifle picked up. That's been heard. Buda strengthens himself. Should be a bomb plant. It will indeed. Meanwhile, in the tunnels comes the main prong of the retake. And now the only prong of the retake, in fact. The AWP looks very scary from here. Missed shot, but Buda's set up well. This guy, he just can't stop fragging. Martineza capitalizes with the final one, but what a round. Nothing but a P250 from Buda, and he got 4 in total.
Yeah, that's actually massive. Well played. Really, really well played. And they got a round out of nothing. They did not deserve that round in terms of the buy they brought to the table, the way they played it. Excellent, excellent. And has kept them afloat. And now we will see that 9Z pause. A bit of a time for them to have a conversation, of course. Time for 3D Max themselves to converse and see what the players. They also need to make sure that they don't let things slip. They've been a little prone to in this series, of course, as we know. Round number 1, they were 12-8 up, let it slip away. First over time, again, had a couple of rounds to close it out, let that slip. And finally in the double OT, we're able to see it over the line. They don't want to get to that sort of pressure where they're required to go 110% to see maps over the line and really required to dig deep and force errors out. It's been relatively smooth sailing for the most part so far. They want more. The same Maka that is so confident to go for that peak.
Madness, pure madness. They, again, are back with a bit of a vengeance. Djoko's just walked in. Nice little play. They mollied behind him, you know. It's a bit of a classic bait. I'm sure we've all done it in MM with a smoke where it's like, you know, throw a smoke behind yourself while you're already pushing. And it really sells the fact that there's no one pushing. Why would I push my own smoke? And it's the same kind of logic. Djoko spots another on the shoulder. Able to get the smoke down, force him away. So 5v3 looks pretty healthy for 3D Max.
Maka. Post on the angle. If he can, you know, misses, for example, he can take away and lock. He can be there to bail him out, but he doesn't miss. Not at the moment. Max will get caught. Beautiful work. This double stacking towards short is deadly. And there we go. Maka, who was sort of in a bit of a panic to dip away and make sure he doesn't get caught. He has the support of the rifler. Beautiful stuff. Lucky bails him out. DGT left with it all to do, and it doesn't really feel like it's going to be anything he even remotely warrants an attempt for. So, wonderful stuff.
Yep, just going to be a hold here from DGT. 3D Max, particularly on this CT side, have done a really good job of getting back in, you know, not letting things get too problematic, which I think we are a big fan of. So we'll see how this continues to pan out for the 9Z side. They really do have to wake up at the very final hurdle. They managed to do it. They managed to do it on Inferno, I will say.
Yeah.
So I think that there is potential they could do it again. This round is awful because they have very little money to work with, but also some players on the minimal loss bonus. It's a really, really tough econ that they've got to work with here.
Yeah, it's not a nice spot that they're in. I think for 9Z, they're just opting for the full reset and a bit of support for the AWPer, rather than the alternative, which is kind of low by this, buy in towards the next, and then just hoping this round that the AWP stays alive. It's hoping for a lot of things to go right. So I do actually sort of understand this decision here. Max, move up short here. And in all fairness, gets given a fair decent amount of space over towards short to work with. There's no one actually playing anywhere near that top side of sight, but a smoke will come down, at the very least, on gravity to slow them down. Pop, flash, bomb spotted, 2. Extra sees. He's going to continue fighting, and that'll cost him his life. He got overzealous there.
Yeah, just a little. Just a little. Is it needed? We'll be answering that question in a few rounds, maybe, or potentially in a few more if it continues into another overtime. 9Z again, given the opportunity to potentially extend play. Maka on the AWP, smoked off, flash comes in. He's still feeling confident. He asked for a smoke blow. It doesn't quite find success. Lucky, meanwhile, is able to get his frag. He's quickly dealt with. Lots and lots of damage done, but no kills going the way of 3D Max. Not enough anyway. Bomb plant in. Save for Djoko. Round going the way of the T side.
All right. 9Z staying ever so slightly afloat. Djoko keep out of that rifle. There is money to work with, so it's sort of fine in the sense that for 3D Max, they can come in towards the next round with a buy of their own, no issues, and the rest. But that's at least a round that 9Z really did need. You know, we're talking about that kind of felt like the all-in core. You lose that, we're probably talking about that being the beginning of the end / the end. And where we're at now, 11-9 scoreline. They kept just a little bit in the making here. What's the play for 3D Max? I'm looking about whether they're tempted to force buy in themselves. I do like to match force buys with one to their own, but because of the money they've got, because they're sort of in between a force buy and a half buy, they might be tempted to lean towards the second. That is going to be the case. So just a half buy around that rifle. Maybe if they had 2 rifles kept alive, they might have been tempted for more of a force. They're going to opt against it. Djoko with a rifle already going to take some early damage.
Yeah, not the best. Okay, would have seen a ghost. Not quite sure. Maybe hit his mouse mat. Yeah, a little spooky in the tunnels. It can be a little spooky down there, you know. For sure. Definitely on the CSGO iteration of Dust2, there was not a lot of light down there. Either way, looking to redeem himself. Spots some actual players. Can't find the headshots, but I think the rest of the team has done enough here. They're just looking to keep the pressure on, make them work for it, take a gun or 2 away. And indeed, that has worked out for Gravity here. You would assume no more for him, with the lack of armor. They're set up for B, at the very least. There might be something in this.
Potentially. Lucky's angle is... It's not a bad one. It's just normally good for 1, at the very least. I don't know if we're going to clear this. Oh, they do. They do. A bit of proactivity there from... I think it's actually Buddha who spots him out, but it's Wasso who gets the kill. 11-10. Another long map and another performance of 9Z. Very hard to put down. We saw that in towards map number 1, and well, we're seeing it now.
Yes, indeed. They really will not give up the chase. I'll give them that. Of course, that lower bracket still awaits. I think we talked about it a bit earlier. It has gotten interesting down there, it would seem, as the lower bracket always can. OG about to get a win over Apogee, but Apogee do have a map on them. And the Namiga Alliance game gone to overtime.
Yeah.
Might be over right now, but as we're looking at it,
15,
doesn't seem to be the
13.
case. Yeah, so that's a little crazy, a little wacky.
Yeah.
We'll see if it goes to another overtime, I suppose.
Well, while we were in half-time, Trav told me apparently there was a bit of a Bowden master class happening over there.
Hell yeah.
Throwing it back for the 1-time. Lucky wanted the AWP, but feet got a little hot there and opts against it. Pulls away from that. Gravity going to sit up close here. Obviously already kind of early, down to 4 for 3D Max. So not an easy round to try and win in their favor, and one that they absolutely have to win too.
Pulling away from the mid play. Pulling all the way away. Going to try and reapproach towards long, it would seem, and 3D Max. No way. No way we're going to get the read of the century out from these guys. This is kind of wild. They do have to be careful. They do have to be careful not to get caught looking around in all the different angles, but ultimately all good. Still a man advantage. But as I get the words out, Djoko has brought it back even. Martineza, he's got 40 seconds. You've got to make a decision on this one, fellas. Wasso peeks out mid. This could be everything. Djoko checks it, but Wasso's quicker on the headshot. That gives the game away. What is Exorcist to do now?
I don't know if you can give this a go, man. B-site retake on Dust2. Hardest site to retake. I don't think this is a possibility for me. Doesn't have a kit either, so he has just one Molotov to try and pull this off. If he was going to give it a go, he's not. It looks like it's just going to be a play for exits. And now 3D Max are actually in a really, really difficult spot, because we're talking about them now going into this next round with a low or maybe kind of a half buy to work with, but generally a low buy here. And yeah, a really, really difficult spot that they're in, where actually advantages are looking favorable towards 9Z. They might even just pip them at the post, right? Right at the final rounds of regulation.
Possible. It is very, very possible. This is a dangerous look for the Frenchman. What do you do here? What are you calling? I know we're not, super high-level gamers, but if you were in this situation, you forcing or no?
Yeah, I think I'm probably... I don't know, actually, because the one thing that is making me tempted to force is Lucky, right? Just because he's actually basically on the verge of that double eco. And it looks like... And the other thing is obviously the AWP as well. You don't really want to ever leave an AWP completely stranded. It looks like they're kind of going in the middle. Actually, they sell the farmhouse, so they're actually going to full commit to not buying here. The big thing is basically just because Lucky was on like 1.6 or whatever, so it was a little bit, you know, eerie in that sense. But it looks like they're going to kind of no buy here and hope that they can try and make something out of nothing, but realistically try and play for overtime, which is it's a bold decision, not an easy one to make, and one that obviously generally probably doesn't work in their favor. Or we're just going to keep changing hands here one by one. They're going to try and make it work, but I'm pretty doubtful.
We'll see. It looks like they're going to be gambling wrong. So, yeah.
I think this is the right call, though, to gamble, just because, you know, you've got nothing else to really to lose in a sense.
No, it's totally fair enough. I think they probably hold what they have here as well. At least it gives them that option. Maybe Djoko gets involved, but beyond that, round is going to be over here, folks.
All right. Bomb goes down. Util out. Nice and easy, but we'll now come down to the final 24. What do we see? Can we see 3D Max survive and push this towards overtime and, you know, try and run the gauntlet once again? Or is it going to that third map? 9Z, who've looked, you know, that first half was pretty dire, generally speaking, and then the second has come alive in quite a big way. It's been competitive, but they've been winning the rounds, obviously. My God, how 3D Max have sort of fallen off a little bit of a cliff here. They were at one point flying, and this one felt like an absolute guarantee, and now not looking so.
Terrorists win.
We had a very similar situation, of course, on Inferno. This is going to be another overtime bout for the 3D Max side, sort of on the opposite side of it. But they are no strangers to it, is what I'm trying to say, particularly against 9Z. It seems this is a squad that they really can't quite get the leg up over. So, a difficult one. But of course, all-important round here. They move on to Ancient as that decider, which is a bit more up in the air. 3D Max, they looked good in it earlier. Can they repeat that performance? I don't know. Very, very tough to say on a map that sits slap bang in the middle of the pool for them.
Yeah.
And again, it is one that 9Z like to lean on. They're not too bad at it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, do or die here for 3D Max. On control taken early. Very well, and Lucky can just park up over towards this long control. And sort of, if you want, stay here alone, but they actually are going to keep two in this direction just in case. This is looking like a B finish by the way they're set up, though.
Yeah, very, very possible. I think it will be. They're starting to kind of edge forward. They've got some utilities, not loads and loads and loads, but definitely enough to make work. And it will come slowly but surely. It's a nice little smoke there towards the tunnel, trying to bait them in. It's a crossfire to work with. Djoko goes aggressive, man. Lucky wins his fight out. Gravity, they know where he's at. He does well to find another. Nade goes in. Decent damage, but not denying the bomb plant. And I don't know. It's a loose retake. 3. Could become 2. Could become 2. DGT decides against the nades. I think that would have made all the difference, honestly. Another smoke towards the doors will slow them down. So this retake has to happen, obviously, but it really has to be perfect.
Yeah, flash being set up. Molotov perfectly timed. Lucky, though, going to make it a 1 versus 3. All down to DGT. Can he do it all on his own? Got to go huge. First foul, but the second isn't. They get on the bomb, and they've got enough time for the retake. So once again, overtime is required in this game. These two sides are genuinely so evenly matched the way they've been playing out, and another map that requires an overtime here. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, we are gaming. We are definitely video gaming, which I think is absolutely what we wanted for today at some point. And we get it in the second series. Both maps going to OT. Which way will it lean? Where will the chips fall? 3D Max doing well. Doing really, really well. That's not an easy retake to pull off.
All right. Harder sight to retake. And yeah, it was pretty solid on all. They just made sure the numbers worked for them. The nade obviously was very good too. Next assist for the first. Max to fall. Bit of damage. Gonna bank a molly as he gets one banked onto his position as well. But I think his is a little bit more important there because it just stops him taking that mid control for free without at least a bit of a fight.
Martinez looking to find a return. No one peeking into him, though, unfortunately. So this is backed off into a conventional kind of setup from 9Z, but of course they are a man down, so they've got to make something happen. They really do, and it's not an easy realm in which to do that at all. Yeah, I don't know, they just maybe have lost a bit of their bite in this round, it feels like.
Yeah. Okay. Djoko. Oh, we're going to say he wants to try and bail out Gravity here. From the elevator angle, he will, but Gravity doesn't look like he needs any help, as he will get multiple 3 for him. And he avoids the AWP as well. Martinez, best of luck, 25 seconds. I think he might just keep hold of this orb.
Oh!
Okay.
Nope.
Never mind. Yeah.
Djoko, one tap. That's a one tap. That's how you do a one tap, man. That's how you confidently end the round, let me tell you.
Yeah, all right. Really decent spot, though, for 3D Max to once again just give themselves a little bit of confidence in that sense. So I can respect them for it. I do really want to see on the other side, though, 9Z go back to where they got a lot of control on this T side. I probably want to see them go 2 for 1 here in the first half of overtime, sort of at the very least, you know what I mean? Especially considering that the T-sides where they did the bulk of their work.
Very, very slow round once again as 9Z just really not spending a lot of time in the early round looking for frags. Both teams have copy and pasted each other's styles, it feels like. Into the overtime, you'd maybe expect this to change. You'd expect 9Z to just go straight into that long play, maybe even risk a B rush. But they are not going for an awful lot here. 45 seconds left, and it's just been a smattering of utility from both sides, to be honest. Hardly even a bullet exchanged.
DGC just double checking back towards long, and right to do so as well. Yeah, he'll get that kill. He was holding for exactly that, and he'll get it gifted. That's good. Spam through the smoke. Not good enough. Oh, and another one as Gravity gets caught. Djoko's in a lot of trouble here. 1 for 1 is not bad, though.
Ooh, nice little flash play coming through. Lucky to keep the Dreamer alive. Spots out Butter, takes him out as well. Huge moment for him. Despite a nice move, it was still a 3 versus 2 until Lucky found the space. And now 3D Max growing this gap, looking very, very good once again. It's taken them into overtime to refine their energy, but all the same, better late than never.
Yeah, exactly that. That's all that matters, ultimately. But still a position where it's difficult to predict for 9Z because they obviously started so badly in the first half of regulation, and second half was so good. You can never completely count them out. Yeah, they're in a tough spot. They're going to use their one-tack pause here and hope that it's enough to sort of change the tides. But right now, 3D Max are inching closer and closer. 2 more rounds is all they need, and they do just look back to their regular selves. Obviously, they let things slip most definitely in that second half, but it's been much, much better. Yeah, let's see. Will this tack pause change things? I feel like if 3D Max, if they do get 3 for 3 in the first half, they're probably already done at that point. Marseille's at the first. XSC's answering back. Deagle spamming this. Gravity's M4 that sees it off.
He's looking pretty confident. Flash goes in. Okay. Wild move for sure. Could have been the old 15 secured, but instead opts to give his life away, and now it's back into the question mark. Through middle, we've got some movement here for both teams, it would appear. As 9Z are back and forth. Really indecisive right now, and could actually get caught by this mid push.
Djoko. Oh, he had the angle, but he just sort of flicks his crosshair off. Lucky does need something massive, and they're actually just being pulled apart one by one. They know the last guy, Gravity's out towards long, so they should just run B here.
Yeah, you would assume so. But again, they have put the brakes on, really wanting to secure this one. Gravity making a move down short. I'll expect a player, but he's actually put a pause on it. Slowly edging in. Will lose his head. I think he's kind of done enough damage there for my money, so it's going to be something pretty incredible here. Bye, Gravity. He's not ready for this player on the corner. Here's him stepping. Here's him stepping. Oh, it's a headshot angle, but thankfully it will be found by Buddha. That could have been awkward all the same. 3D Max, good start in that round. Like I say, should have been 15. Got brought into contention and they lost it.
Yeah. All right. At the very least, they didn't go 0 for 3, right? And that's all that matters. It does still keep them potentially in for the chance of something here, but by no means is this an easy feat. Still playing. Just kind of catch up, and do need something quite special on the CT side. So let's see what they got for us. Smoke and Molly used early by Buddha. Shot as well in towards Suicide. Gets close, but doesn't get the damage.
Okay. 3D Max maybe picking up the pace a little bit more here as they will make a quick move towards short. And there is a gap. There is a catchable CT defense here. They're not quite set up for a short hit just yet. And there it is. Huasso Peak did not expect them to already have crossed in. It's usually a later move. Bomb gets dropped. Is it fully spilled? I'm not quite sure. I don't think so. I think it's just right on the corner. Yeah, that's a little lucky. Looked like it potentially could have fallen over. Meanwhile, a site gets taken. I see giving them room.
Yeah, Molly down, and well, Bomb will go down too. This is a nice hold. Lucky should get cleared. He will. It's a nice angle, but you've got to be really kind of laissez-faire to not clear that in all honesty. However, they line up. XSCs. That's a freebie of a double for him.
Still on. Definitely still on. DGT moves around for one. It's a nice close shot from Maka to keep it all good in the hood. Tenaza moving round, but Maka's got his angle as well, and they will just about get it. Just about. Still felt really, really dicey all the way up until the very end. 15 for 3D Max. Comes around late, potentially. But they will get it. So again, their overtime secured. Cool. But they want to get this over the line and not give any more chances across the 9Z. They've had quite a few. Eventually, you feel like it's going to stick.
Yeah, it's true. Okay. Now or never for 9Z. Double OT in towards map the one. As 3D Max did fail to close out from this sort of position, so we will see, but not the most confident of looks in towards overtime, generally speaking. Just the one round they've got so far, and even that had a bit of a fight behind it. Damage, Djoko. Little bit of a tag, but I guess not too worrying in this spot. It's been a really nice performance, though, from Maka and XSC, 24 and 23 kills, respectively. On the other side, primarily DGT has been pulling up the numbers.
Op shot misses. It's going to be long presence here from 3D Max. The flashes are a little difficult to contend with. Martinez is spotted on the edge of the smoke and finished as well. Lovely, lovely stuff here. 5v3. Feel like it's got to be enough. Nice nade from DGT. Finds himself a frag, but gets returned upon. Has he created enough space for his teammates to keep them alive here?
Max. Back turn to Ram. That's where they're coming from. He's hard focused on short. Will they clear him? Now they spot him and they do. XSC will drop him. All down to one man. Buddha. Got to bail them out here with a big 1v3. And this one feels like it's not going to get off the ground. Seen off there 16-13. And it's 3D Max who take the series 2-0. But scrimming both maps, overtime required. So I think it just shows just how close these two sides were. But on the day, on online, in a qualifier, this is 3D Max's ground, man. This is where they do a lot of their best work. And today they proved it.